Isn't it kind of crazy that both this movie and Stand By Me asks if they want to see a dead body?
Wild.
And they're on railroad tracks when they're asking it?
Double wild.
For real.
Yeah, that's not the only similarity too, because I realized that this movie and Stand By Me both ask the question, when you gonna give me scans? Welcome once more, listeners, to another episode of Cinema Forecast, where each month we have one category. We got two friends to talk about the category in the form of 4 movies.
That's right.
Last week we did Stand By Me. Yep. We're doing coming of age movies.
Yeah.
This week, you see in the title of the podcast, the movie's called Boyz in the Hood.
Yeah.
Directed by John Singleton.
Yeah. Sad movie.
Sad movie. I think a movie with a lot to say. A movie that I remember from when I was much younger and have always really appreciated. I think an important film as well.
Yeah. Very grounded.
Yeah. Written as well by John Singleton.
Mm-hmm.
The composer on this one, Stanley Clarke, although we have a lot of like pop music in it. And then the cinematography here is going to be Charles Mills. So as we do, we like to talk about our first experiences with this film. I think I already started, so I'll just keep it rolling. I know, Connor, this is your first time seeing the movie, right?
It is, yeah.
I knew of this as being an important film through, I think, my absorbing of... God, I'm going to sound so sterile in the way that I say this. But, I listened to, like, a lot of hip-hop growing up. My uncle was a big, like, rap guy. Listened to, Eminem, Dr. Dre, and by extension, Ice Cube, like, NWA, Eazy-E, all of these, West Coast rap artists, along with, Notorious B.I.G., Big L, Big Pun, all of these characters of 90s hip hop. So I think through consuming that culture, I was aware of this movie, and I think maybe even they talk about it in. My sister and I watched VH1's I love the 70s, and then I love the 80s, and I love the 90s, and I think they talked about this in I love the 90s. So maybe I had also sort of known about it through that, but I think at some point between 13 and 15, I watched this movie for the first time, and I was deeply impacted by it. I thought it was really tragic, and I thought that it was there's something so powerful about it, and it feels very I don't know, to see a coming of age story of for black young men, and then to see that I don't know, it just felt such a different take on the genre than I was used to. But I mean, I guess we'll get into all of that as we discuss the film. But yeah, I remember being deeply impacted by it.
And black young men in a very rough environment.
Yes, in a tough socioeconomic situation, for sure.
A lot of class commentary. For
sure. Absolutely. Which I did not remember how intellectual this movie was, and I really appreciate that. I knew that there was very cogent commentary within the film, but I just had forgotten how how much Furious just lays it out for you there.
Yeah, and that name, right? It's so in your face, Furious, and yet he's the calm sea. Yeah,
he's awesome. I think he's this is one of my favorite, I think, performances of his.
Is this our third time with Laurence Fishburne?
We had Laurence Fishburne in The Matrix.
And then wasn't he in Searching for Bobby Fischer, right?
He's in Searching for Bobby Fischer, absolutely. And now he's in this, third time. Yeah. I fucking love him. Famously left-handed actor. We love that shit. But let's get into our themes. I'm so excited to hear what you thought about this film. But yeah, let's lay out the themes of the month for coming-of-age stories.
Nostalgia, number 1 is what I got. And there's definitely nostalgia here, but it feels there's not a lot of warmth to the nostalgia, right? It feels
it's different.
Yeah.
I felt it's not. I don't think it's a super applicable theme within this movie overall. But what I think it's used to a good effect in this film is that the scenes where they're younger, they really help us sort of see them at a time before the loss of innocence or the maturation, even though they're engaging maybe some questionable things, they eventually get caught stealing. it is like you see this pure version of them that anchors them emotionally for you. So when
Yeah,
you see like Doughboy in the future, you can't help but think of that like little boy. And there's
absolutely.
something to that that feels like it kind of like hijacks the nostalgia like circuit in your brain or something to make you feel like a sense of nostalgia for them in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nostalgia that's kind of, and I would say this almost applies to Stand By Me as well. I think it definitely does actually, just like a bittersweet melancholy to your childhood, right?
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and you already mentioned my number two, which is Loss of Innocence. A lot of that in here. We got Macabre Curiosities. They're looking for a dead body at one point. That's pretty macabre if you ask me. Metamorphosis. Uh, it's interesting. There is character development in here, but like I said at the beginning, very grounded. It feels very natural character development. It doesn't feel like your typical like at the beginning of the movie they're gonna be here, and then by the end they're gonna be here, right?
No, no, it's a roller coaster, which I think is
Yeah.
actually one of the more sort of powerful things
Yeah.
about like its statement. And I think what we're talking about with this is like Trey. Like the metamorphosis is like best exemplified through Trey, I
Yeah.
think, and because he is the main character of the story.
Totally. But I think Doughboy as well, that final monologue he has at the end, it's
Yeah.
reflective. It's
Yeah, yeah.
but again in a very realistic way where it's like he's not just going to suddenly turn his life around, but he's really contemplating his life and these things, in a way we haven't really seen him do.
Yeah, I think the thing I would say about him is that he's always kind of been at that state. I think he
Yeah.
is like sort of stagnating
Yeah.
in like an awareness, but I think it feeds into one of my themes, which is fatalism.
Yeah.
That he feels like he can't escape this,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Peer pressure, definitely some peer pressure in here. And finally, struggle of morality, which is kind of the
Yeah.
name of the game in a lot of ways.
Yeah, no, that's such a big part of the film. I took the themes that I had, a lot of them overlap. Last week I had friendship, loss of innocence, fatalism, trauma, and nostalgia, and I actually shifted the central focus of the theme to and kind of reconfigured my conceptualization of it because I really dig on these like sort of like nesting things and like my mind it just works like better a certain way. So I shifted friendship to community, thinking of friendship and loyalty, and then loyalty. Wow, like how that word can really mean so many different things within like a
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
So I thought about that, and then now that I was thinking about it as community, like gentrification is a nice little sub theme to like put it in there. And I think what's cool about this is that this is one of those movies where you do kind of feel like the neighborhood is like a character, like it has a character unto itself.
Yeah.
Not to the extent of maybe some other films, but there's something there, right? Like, there is a community that's being pointed to. With the loss of innocence thing we were talking about, I shifted my idea of it to like maturity and growing up, and then definitely when faced with the loss of innocence, you're faced with these moral quandaries, which I kind of nestled into that like maturity, even though like I do think it deserves its own just like shout out because it is
Yeah.
like such a central crux of maturation.
Yeah, and I think one of the most tragic things about this movie is that there's this sense that they never really had full innocence because of like the situation they're
Yeah.
born into. Like
It was
just
short
feels,
lived, if anything.
yeah, it just feels like right from the jump, it's like
Yeah.
they're facing very adult problems.
Yeah, that's why it feels so much more like appropriate to label it as a sort of like a metamorphosis going from more innocent to like, how are you going to like interface with
Yeah.
like this community? And I think like another big thing, another like sub fucking theme, sub theme I wanted to shout out is like safe sex is another sort of like one of these big things like that he like faces throughout the movie and is like something that keeps coming up like with him and his father.
Yeah.
Then I brought up fatalism, and with that I kind of like put in some of the things you would think of as more like systemic racism, these socioeconomic factors of the neighborhood they're living in, like marginalization and like how that like goes in with like gentrification. And I think that like Doughboy is the best character to like exemplify this sort of theme because it goes into like my next theme, which is the theme of like trauma.
Yeah.
Because his mother is like the self-fulfilling prophecy thing where she tells him he'll never amount to anything. So of course he ends up engaging in criminal activity, like just a product of the system that he was brought up by. And then another part of this trauma thing is you have this clear mirror of his brother Ricky, who like does. I mean, he's not the greatest student, but he's this amazing like football player, and he's like so well like loved,
The purest spirit, perhaps.
Yes, yeah, I think supposed to be this sort of like symbol of like continuing innocence in a way. Like
Yeah.
sometimes there's characters like that who, even though we're talking about
Yeah.
teenagers making these like intense social choices, like there's still kind of like this purity to them,
It's a really good point. Yeah, it's almost like he never really lost his innocence.
Yeah, no, I just thought of that when you pointed
Yeah.
that out. And then we went over nostalgia, but yeah, those are the themes. I think this one is a great one for this month. Like,
Yeah.
I'm really stoked to like be able to contrast it with what we just watched too.
Yeah, I will say I kind of like predicted where everything was going in the movie, but what I really appreciated about it was how it was done and how like grounded and natural it felt, and like the conversations around that, and just some amazing performances throughout.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think honestly, for a story like this, I don't think that's necessarily a drawback if you can see how it's going to go, because it is a story we've seen played out so many
Yeah.
times, and is this commentary on fatalism, like the fatalism of like a racist capitalist like sort of like machine,
Yeah. I do think there's part of, because we did A Bronx Tale back in November, and like slight spoilers for that, I thought it was going to end A Bronx Tale like this movie ends.
Yeah.
And so when it subverted that, I was like, oh, that's so interesting. And so when this one didn't subvert that, I was like, okay, what are they going to do with it? And then it just kind of ends. And I was like, oh, so I felt a little like I was left hanging in some
Yeah.
ways, but I still thought like very well done.
This is also 91, Bronx Tale 93.
Yeah, that's a good
I
point.
was thinking about that. I think I made a note about it at one point, but this movie comes out before A Bronx Tale,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, let's get the fuck into it. Let's
Yeah.
talk about this movie.
Well, the more we kind of, we were kind of joking about its relation to Stand By Me, but the more I kind of think about it and looking at my notes and stuff, I'm wondering if there is some inspiration from Stand By Me into this, just like the framing of it, and the fact that it starts with like a drive-by happening. And then Stand By Me starts with him hearing on the radio that his friend had died, and like where the movie ends with the friend dying. I mean, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it seems like there's this kind of structure here of like looking back on it, and yeah, like you were talking about, almost like the fatalism of where this is all going.
It's not a bad thing to say. It's not a bad thing to shout out. Because what is the alternative? For you to not say it and for it to sit there unsaid? There is a beauty in the unsaid, I would say.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it is difficult to unsay what has been said. And I'm happy that you said it. Because I like it. I think it's a good call. Also, bro, just clip that real quick. What was that? That was just some fire.
Damn, bro.
Just some
Cooking up in here.
Yeah, no dead air over here. Okay, now don't talk for 30 seconds.
1 out of 21 black men, I believe it says.
Will be murdered.
Which is just damn.
Most of them will die at the hands of another black man.
Yeah, really tragic stuff.
Yeah, this is and I remember when I took sociology, because that was my minor in college. I remember just like seeing all of these like studies are like so fucking alarming, like it's so fucking wild. But
Yeah.
I thought it was such a strong start, like with the like sound and then like the text on the screen, right? Like it's very powerfully like immediately dropping you into the context for the story.
Yeah, what I'm also thinking about right now, that's kind of interesting about this movie, is that I feel like it really wants to focus on like being a black person, like obviously, right? But in terms of like how few white characters there are in this story, and I think of the kind of like abuse of power we see from the cops, for example, like the main one we really see, like it's a black cop, right? And so I think there's a lot of interesting commentary there on just like forget about everyone else. Let's talk about this as black people, basically.
Yeah, I think it also points to like their community, right? Like what they're actually what in South Central Los Angeles you would realistically see, like
Right.
like throughout the neighborhood.
But I mean, they easily could have made it like two white cops being dicks, like
Oh
putting their
no,
foot down on
absolutely.
you.
No,
You know,
no, no,
like,
no, no, no. I think the black cop is an essential, I think, character to the story because
Yeah.
it is pointing to like it's a further commentary on systemic racism because he is. And you know what? I mean, I just have to say this like right off the bat. Like, doing a movie like this as, I am Latino, but I am like, mixed race, I like, and I'm very white presenting, and my buddy Connor over here, a white ally. We don't pretend to be able to know what exactly the experience of these people
Absolutely
are.
not, yeah.
But of black America, especially like South Central Los Angeles in the 90s. But as people, as again allies and people who love like film, we're gonna do our very best to talk about this in the most respectful way possible.
Absolutely, yeah, and
I don't know what I was saying, but I just stopped saying because I just wanted to say that. I don't.
no, absolutely. I mean, I think it's a good point because we mentioned this in the last episode as well. Like we were talking about doing some other movies, and we're like, yeah, that's like more like 50s white boys though. Like let's like do some different walks of life and stuff. And I'm by no means the most educated person in these matters, but I think it's a good call to not just focus on the slice of life we're the most familiar with or whatever.
And I mean, like, I'm not, I mean, it sounds maybe a little goofy to say this, but I think that's what it's well done about the movie is that it is relatable and educational, both at the same time. Like, I can relate to these like friendships, and a lot of like the stuff that like Trey is going through, right?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I mean, dude, being a young guy, like not having like lost your virginity, like wanting to have sex for the first time, and like feeling the pressure of it, and then also not wanting to get pregnant, all of these like different things that are at play. That's so relatable.
Trying to get into college, all that stuff. Yeah.
Being bad at stuff but good at sports, can't relate to that one.
Yeah.
But there's people out there who can.
Absolutely.
But yeah, as we're saying, I also the first shot, just like the stop sign, it's just like sort of like pushing in, and I think this is one of those movies you could really like get into a lot of like symbolism.
Yeah.
And so when I first watched it, I was like, is this like stop the violence, stop the killing, or is it also perhaps now I was thinking a philosophical sort of like stop and think about this, like consider like actually immerse yourself in the moment.
Interesting.
And be present. But mostly I do think it is like stop the violence.
Well, that's like you get that final line at the end. Part of me is wondering, I didn't think about it too much when I first saw it, but part of me is wondering if it's like a metaphor for feeling stuck, like stop. Like this is a dead end basically. Like this sense so many of the characters have of this community here.
Yeah. Yeah, not a bad point either. So we got South Central LA in 1984.
Oh, really? I wrote 1981.
1984, yeah.
Oh.
Because then it's 9 years later, right? Or is it?
I thought it.
8 years later?
I thought it was 7 years, but I don't have to see. Oh yeah, I wrote 7 years later.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, whatever. 1984,
Okay.
South Central Los Angeles. Because there's the Reagan Bush 1984 poster.
Oh yeah,
that they see later
That's
on.
right.
So we have a young Trey, on the corner, and
they start talking about like it's really sad again, this feeling of like loss of innocence right from the start, where they're talking about like doing homework, and then they're talking about everyone they know who got shot, and he's like, my brother got shot twice and he's fine. Like,
yeah.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, I think he says both his brothers have been shot and they're still alive.
Oh yeah.
And he also says a bullet don't have no name on it, and that's when he asks, y'all want to see something? And it's kind of like interesting how we get this sort of like this teaser of the body thing that'll happen later on.
Yeah.
But it does end up being pretty fucked up because he takes him to these Reagan Bush. We see the Reagan Bush posters with the bullet holes, and there's the police line, and it seems like there's just a bunch of like blood, right? From like where someone had been murdered, it appears, like shot to death probably.
I do really find this theme, because my sister was the one who called out macabre curiosities as a theme, and I do find it really interesting that it is so reoccurring, and like what is it about, kids that are just like drawn to really intense stuff like that?
It's like maybe the horseshoe, like you have I mean, I'm not a big horseshoe theory guy, but it's fun for thinking about like artistic juxtaposition. Like you have these children, right? They are at the dawn of their life looking at like looking at something that's on the complete opposite spectrum of life from them, right? But yeah, I think it feels like it works so well in like a story about kids.
Well, I think it's realistic too. I definitely did shit like this where nobody had found a dead body to show me, but there definitely was like scandalous, even criminal things where people would be like, what if we did this? And I'm like, yeah, what if we did that?
Yeah, I mean, you want to start fires and shit, dog. I mean,
just do stuff you shouldn't be doing. But...
yeah, lots of that for sure. I remember like when I was a kid and I was living in Peru in our fucking apartment complex, there was like a dead bird and everyone was taking turns hitting it with a stick.
that's some really good childhood.
And then somebody fucking hit it and it like exploded. And then everybody was like, what the fuck, dude?
Damn.
Which is really funny that like everybody turned on it when it was like, oh no, this is...
Why'd you do that?
Yeah, why'd you do that? That's a bridge too far. Which is classic kids shit, you know?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so
they're in school.
They're in school, yeah.
Lesson on Thanksgiving, some commentary here as well. They're just like talking about why we celebrate Thanksgiving and all this, and talking about race stuff in like a nuanced way. That's interesting.
Because like the commentary of the writing is like nuanced. The teacher is so funny because she's like Indians. Sorry, I mean Native Americans. And it's it's so funny that was a thing even back then, because that feels like it would be something you would see like in the news today. Oh, like they don't like to be called that anymore. Like stuff like that. I don't know. It just felt very relevant.
I mean, I remember that when I was a kid, like 20 years ago or whatever, and like that did still feel kind of new to me. Like that change from Indian to like, I feel like there was a lot of media that still was just like Indians,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I mean nowadays we know that certain different groups of indigenous people like to be referred in different ways as well. There are certain indigenous groups in the United States that don't like that, actually prefer to be called Indian. I don't know which ones those are because I'm only mildly educated.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That seems strange to me.
No. I mean, it's just this is the word that they prefer. I think I've heard like maybe somewhere in like the East Coast or something, there's certain tribes that prefer that terminology.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, dude, there you go. You learn something new every day.
It's a wild world out there, everybody.
You learn something new every day. It's great.
I love this introduction to Mr. Styles here. What does he say? It's something about the penguins. I can't remember why.
He refers to the pilgrims as penguins.
Oh, yeah, because they got the white and black.
Yeah, he's a comedian. And then she's like, oh, you want to teach the class? And he's like, I think I could do that.
Yeah, and he gives a great little lesson on Africa.
Starts telling them about how
everyone came from there.
Everyone came from Africa. And then him and this dude get in a fight.
Again, a very interesting commentary because he's right. And it's like, why would you be offended by that? But here there's some kid immediately getting offended by that.
And it's also a black kid who is, and he is like also like mocking like Africans, right? Like, and all again, it's like part of internalized racism or like just systemic racism is creating these sort of like caste or these hierarchies, right?
Right.
To make yourself feel better than someone else because that's like what the whole like society
really
is like
sad.
doing, you know?
Yeah, because it's like, I may be a poor black kid, but at least I'm not like a poor African kid.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, bro.
Yeah, it's like, fuck, dude. That sucks, man.
Yeah, and that came up a lot during mobster movies as well, where it's like marginalized people who
marginalizing other groups.
Yeah. Always punching down.
Yes, it is so tragic. Like, it would be. I feel like it's maybe perhaps worthwhile to I don't know, maybe engage in some literature about that at some point between now and one of our other records. I don't know. Maybe we'll do it on a bonus episode. We'll do. I mean,
deep dive
would,
into.
would, that, would I mean, I think it would be interesting to talk. Like, if we found an interesting paper about like the depiction of marginalized groups and like racism, like towards like other groups, like something like that. That's
it's a fascinating subject.
It's very interesting to me.
And tragic.
And tragic.
Yeah.
Tragic for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, because like also like it's very it's very relevant to me because my family's from Peru and everyone is like mixed race for the most part, but the people who look whiter are like the people who are considered at the top of society, right? And then like the like darker you are, like then you see people discriminating amongst themselves. You see people like indigenous people or mixed race indigenous people discriminating against like black people and so on and so forth. And then there's also like Asian immigrants that like have been in Peru, like Asian immigrant groups that have been in Peru for a while. And then you see all of those like stereotypes as well. And society, dude, it's just like
society, man.
It's like a big melting pot of like racism, dude.
Yeah, so much anger, so much hatred.
But hey, there's also a lot of love, man.
Yeah, man.
There's a lot of love. There's a lot of beautiful moments in this film, and I think one of the and we're gonna get to it. One of the most beautiful things about this movie is that it is a beautiful relationship between a black father and his son.
Yeah.
Like, and it is a like feels like such a pure like anchor of like the film for me.
Yeah.
It's what really does it for me. I mean, you should have expected this, right? Like
yes.
I wake up in the morning and I want a bowl of this and like with some milk,
Father-son relationships. Yeah. Well, interesting because we were comparing it to Stand By Me. Not like that movie, big asshole father. Not in this one. Not in this one, baby.
No, I mean
and I wonder Bronx Tale, also super sweet dad.
Yeah,
I wonder if that carries from this, into that.
Yeah. I mean, also probably just Chaz Palminteri's like father was actually like a good guy.
Yeah.
But
Stephen King's dad might have been a dick.
Yeah, probably.
Presuming
Seems
from
like
all of his asshole father characters.
Yeah. So ultimately, what ends up happening is that Bobby and Trey are get into this like fight, and then you see Trey walking home while we have the voiceover of the phone call with the teacher being like, yeah, he's really smart, but like, and like really the main purpose of this phone call is to highlight like the white teacher's sort of her biases, like, right?
Yeah.
Asking the questions that she asks about of Riva, who is Trey's mother, played by Angela Bassett, legendary Angela Bassett. I was
kind of expecting her to be in the movie more. She's only kind of in the beginning here, and then like one scene later, basically.
Yeah. I think like doesn't like the teacher ask her something about like, do you like work or something? Like I don't know. She asked her some kind of like
she does ask her like
some out of pocket questions. Where you're like,
if you're working,
Yeah, Trey's getting suspended for 3 days, but then she's like, no, Trey's going to go live with his father. Yeah. And I think she says Furious Styles, Mr. Furious Styles. Yeah, what a name.
Every time they said it, I was like, really? Furious?
I fucking love it. It's great.
Yeah, and I mean, while this phone call is happening, we see him walking home, like you said, and there's just some dude getting beat.
Two guys, there's a dice game, and then they start getting in a fight.
Yeah, and one guy comes out from behind the fence, and I'm like, okay, he's gonna try to come between, and no, he just like jumps in and starts beating him too. I'm like, fuck.
There you go.
Yeah.
I also love the little official contract that Riva sort of like recites to Trey about like the agreement that they had.
Was it if you get into another fight, you're gonna live with your father, or is it if you get into trouble again?
I can't remember. Something about trouble. But I do love the way that she like the legalese that she's used in the wording for it.
Yeah, she has I guess part of the reason I'm kind of surprised she's not in the movie more is they do like there's this trope kind of set up here where they say like she's like, as soon as I get my life together, like I'm coming, we're gonna get back together. I'm gonna bring the family together. And I'm like, well, if I know anything about drama, she's not gonna get her life together, and that's not gonna happen. But then she does get her life together, but she like is still separated from them, which is so interesting.
Yeah, it is very interesting. And like we kind of dip into it later on, where it's like I think it's his choice. He wants to like live with me. Oh, also a great line is Yeah, she says like, "Oh yeah, he's gonna go live with his father," and the teacher goes, "His father," and she goes, "Yes, his father." Or did you think we made babies by ourselves? And I was like, "Damn, it was pretty
That's
good."
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Riva is driving Trey to his father's, and we
Yeah.
do have this line that I think is maybe repeated at different points again. This idea of ending up dead or drunk, right?
Mm.
Standing in front of like a liquor store, like drinking yourself to death, or worse, like caught in the crossfire, or maybe actively participating in like violence and fucking dying in that manner.
Yeah. And I also think it's very interesting that he doesn't want to go with to stay with his father, and
Yeah.
I wonder if that's just kids are like habit and like ritual is very important to in an upbringing. I wonder if it's just that it's different because I was expecting. I mean, his dad's a bit of a hard ass, but like not in a very like reasonable dad kind of way. So
Yeah.
I thought his trepidation was interesting,
Yeah.
especially in hindsight.
No, yeah, I agree. I think so too. It is interesting that because I did feel like it seemed like they got on really well.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't really understand why he doesn't want to live with his father, other than maybe it's just what he's used to. And like I said, it's a very grounded movie, and it's just being honest about all that stuff. Like I guess sometimes I'm just wondering if I'm just reading too much into this stuff because this is the type of movie that feels so genuine and natural that it doesn't necessarily all have to mean something. Sometimes just like that's just how life is.
Yeah, well, I think it's kind of like the call to adventure. He's resisting the
Mm,
call, and then now he's fully embraced this lifestyle. Like his
yeah,
father is his mentor, right?
yeah,
Like his mom isn't the like he doesn't need to uproot himself. He's like in his last year of like school. Like
yeah,
let him just finish and like, go to like college.
yeah. I
And
kind
he
of take
wants
it.
to, and I think his father also, I think the showing of his father believing in him shows that like he is at a point where he can complete his like maturation, at least at this point, like this part of his
Yeah,
metamorphosis, right?
and I wonder if there's just like some subtle kind of hinting at here that his mom is a lot more like lenient with him because we see as soon as he's like one of the first things his dad's saying is like, okay, these are all your chores, you're gonna do this and this, and maybe she's a bit more of a hands-off approach in his day-to-day life, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he's just like, oh, here I going into the like he's gonna bring out the metaphorical belt.
Yeah, I feel like maybe that's how he feels when he's like a kid, but by the time
Yeah,
he's like older, it
no,
definitely feels like his dad is like, I trust you.
oh
Like do
yeah,
your thing, dude. Like
yeah,
he has his own car.
yeah. No, I just mean like this scene in particular.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it is that he is like a kid and he's like, this guy's a real like fucking hard ass. Like it's
Yeah.
also like I'm moving away from like all of my friends and stuff,
Yeah, but he does
perhaps.
have friends here, so
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
It almost does seem like he like would be excited to do this, to move here.
Yeah, because his dad seems awesome, and he has all these friends here,
Yeah, and
and
like,
it seems like a nicer neighborhood, probably, right?
I mean, maybe he does. I don't know, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I think it's interesting that she tells Furious that she can't teach him how to be a man. I think
Yeah.
like
Well, she said that he said that to her,
right,
right?
but she's kind of repeating
But
it
she's
as
agreeing. She's
yeah,
like, I think you're right. So teach him how to be a man.
right. Yeah, a lot of commentary on black fatherhood, I guess. Like just I mean that is like a serious problem in black communities, fathers leaving and
I mean, we have Doughboy and Ricky as one of
right,
like the major examples in this movie, right?
right. Um yeah, and she's saying it'll be temporary, which it does not turn out to be. Which is
Yeah.
what I presumed, but not for the reason I presumed it, like I said, which again, interesting,
No,
interesting
yeah,
small stuff.
I do like it. Just like on the surface, I just like the fact that he chooses to want to like stay with his dad,
Yeah.
and he's like, I kind of got like this thing that I want to do. Like, I really care about this girl. I've known her for years now.
Yeah.
Like, and we love each other, and we want to continue to be together. Go ahead, dude. I'll stop for a second.
I don't know how that keeps happening. This feels tight.
The one on the bottom too. This one.
This one? Oh yeah, probably. Should be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could always end up just putting it in. Whatever. It'll be fine for now. We meet the like squad. We meet Doughboy, we meet Chris, we meet Ricky. Doughboy asks him, he's like, so it's not just a weekend thing anymore.
Yeah.
This is the funny shit about like he's got like so many fucking comic books, dude.
Yeah. Well, I was actually thinking of broaching this as a possible opening because last time we started with Goofy, or yeah, we were talking about Goofy, right? Yeah, I think so. But he's asking whether or not the Hulk can kick the boogeyman's ass, and I thought that was just a really funny kid argument.
Yeah, great kid question. And to answer your question, yes, absolutely. I do think the Hulk could kick the boogeyman's ass.
I don't even know what the boogeyman is.
Dude, that's the scariest part.
I don't know. Can the Hulk fight like a embodiment of nightmares? I don't know.
Well, it depends on what our conception is. Like, what are we working with for like our like boogeyman, like our boogeyman, like script? Like, what's our boogeyman build, right? Like, what's your boogeyman meta? Like, hit me with like your boogeyman moves.
Yeah.
Like, are you like an up down like X Y?
He's basically the Sandman, right? The boogeyman.
No.
He's not the master of dreams. He's just like the monster in the closet kind of thing. The embodiment of fear, perhaps, like it. I don't know, man. I don't know if Hulk can take on the embodiment of fear.
I think so, dude. Dude, he's the embodiment of rage, dog.
Yeah, maybe.
He is the embodiment of rage. Okay, here. See, this is the thing. Sandman is supposed to be like Morpheus, god of sleep, right?
Yeah.
But that's also just like the like Neil Gaiman conception of it. Okay, you know what? We'll save this for a side episode, okay? We'll talk about
the first half of the episode.
We'll talk about minorities being racist towards each other, and then we'll talk about the Sandman.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
Yeah, this is great. This is gonna be good shit. Wow, we got like a year of content. I'm excited.
But right before this, he is like already putting him to work. He's like, I'm gonna have you rake up all these leaves and stuff. So maybe that answers like the question right there. It's just like his dad is a bit of a hard ass.
Yeah, he says that to him as they're turning back towards like the house. I love how there's two elements of foreshadowing with the children here. Furious asks Doughboy, he says, "Are you staying out of trouble?" Foreshadowing. Chris rolls away on the skateboard on his knees. Foreshadowing. I know that's kind of a fucked up thing to call out, but he ends up in a wheelchair for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Sad. What's up with the pacifier?
I think they put drugs in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that was a big like rave culture thing too.
Well, yeah,
I don't know.
I always associated that with rave culture, and like the hood is the opposite of rave culture to me. So
I don't know about that. Let's see. Binky drug. What do they do? I don't know, dude. I don't know. I imagine it would be like something like I don't know.
I don't know. To me, it's just like chewing on a baby's toy is like the least masculine thing you could do in the hood. So I kept being like, what? What is that?
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, his name is Dookie.
Yeah,
which is funny. But so we see Trey taking care of all the leaves as well. We got a cool little like montagey like shot of him doing that. He goes to wash up and he's grossed out by the tub.
Yeah.
And then Furious is going over the house rules with him, including cleaning that tub. And he's like, damn, I got to clean that tub. And there you go. This is kind of like the like presentation of like why he doesn't want to live here, right?
Yeah,
with his mom, it does seem like he kind of just like, doesn't have to clean, can kind of just like chill.
I like his pushback. He's like, so what do you do around here, Dad? And he's like, I pay the bills, I make sure you have food, and I make sure you have clothes.
Yeah.
You're the prince, I'm the king.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
I love that he says to him too, you might think I'm being hard on you. And like the music at all these moments when he's talking to his son. And I mean, he is hard on him for sure. But I think it is because he knows that like he needs to build a lot of discipline to make it in a place with so much temptation, like constantly around him, right? For like what might be the easier way out or whatever.
He's building structure for him. Yeah.
And he also says, your friends across the street don't have anyone to teach them that, which is again some sad foreshadowing,
Yeah, absolutely.
But then again, the way that the scene is constructed, it's capped off with the whole your you're the prince, I'm the king, and the king says the prince needs to go to bed. So there is this levity. Like the writing is like well constructed to not leave you in like this like
Dour place.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, totally. Next we get this break-in scene. We got the dripping faucet.
Yeah, I like the way
the
it's
sleep.
shot.
Oh yeah, I was actually they haven't really started doing it a bunch yet, but there's an interesting structure I can't remember seeing very often in all the movies we've done where it'll be playing multiple scenes at the same time where like sometimes you'll jump between scenes, but usually it'll be like a full scene and then you'll jump back to another part of the story and then you'll come back and do another scene in that part of the story. This movie is kind of constantly being like, we're just going to show you a little snippet of what someone's up to. Then we're going to cut to someone else just like doing other random stuff. And then we're going to cut to someone else doing something random. And then we're going to jump back to the first people that are just kind of also just doing something random. It's not like again, it has this kind of interesting, natural,
It's like less
nonchalant
less
flow
parallel
to it.
action, more like parallel atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like maybe trying to like build into that community sort of aspect of it.
That's interesting,
Whether it be like maybe also sometimes to service tension
yeah.
as well. Because I thought it was interesting. This movie I think was like IMDb had it as like an action thriller or some shit like that, and I was like, that seems kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I wouldn't call this an action. I think there's thriller aspects to it, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't call it a thriller either.
No, here we go. Yeah, no, coming of age, psychological drama, teen drama, tragedy, crime, drama. Those are the keywords.
Yeah,
Maybe I saw that somewhere. Maybe it was on Google.
probably.
Google.
What have you done now, Google?
Ring, ring. Mr. Google, you did it again. Click. All right, back to the movie, guys. Sorry you had to hear that. Every once in a while, Mr. Google just ring, ring. Oh, shit, there he is again. Yeah, I told you did it again. Don't do it. Don't do it again. Do not. Okay.
Remember who's the king and who's the prince.
Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Google fucking knows.
Yeah, so we get this break in here. I was shocked by this. Like, not like shocked, but I was just like, it just felt so like early in the movie for such a dramatic thing to happen out of nowhere. And then it just like doesn't really pay off in any other way than it's just like, that's what life's like out here. And Furious is a badass.
I think that to me, the way I've read it when I've seen it is that it's this core memory of this moment for him. Like because how old is he supposed to be? He's like what, like 12 or 11?
11, yeah, probably.
It feels like this moment of like having to, yeah, I don't know. To me, it read as as something that like sits in his mind. I don't know, like one of these like core memories that like,
yeah,
damn, that like happened, and this is the way like my dad sort of handled it. And maybe for a more practical case, just feeds into like, my dad can he can protect me. He will like protect me, and he has.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think the ending of it is a really good foreshadowing mirror of it, where he's like, you should have blown his head off, and he's like, don't say that.
Yeah, don't say that. Yeah.
And then his decision to leave the car at the end of the movie is kind of circling back to this lesson from his father.
Yeah, he says would have just contributed to killing another brother.
That's right.
And that's a very like particularly, I think, like particularly constructed like sentence right there.
Yeah.
The use of the word brother right there, I think, is like there's an importance to that. I just want to go back and say I love the way that it's shot though, like the dripping faucet, like the different sort of angles. This film for the most part is doing that sort of like letting the performances shine a lot with the cinematography, which I think this kind of movie, you want it shot like that. You want it to feel real and raw, and to just let the let the actors shine. You don't need to do this like any sort of like really showy cinematography, and I think it does a great job at that. But this one part specifically, I thought it was a fun like.
It was a really well done, tense moment.
Yeah.
I think that's why it kind of took me off guard, because there wasn't any build up to it or anything. It just kind of like boom,
just kind of comes out of it.
Just drops on you.
Also, like Trey pisses himself too. You notice that?
I didn't.
Yeah, he's in the bathroom and then he like turns around. He's like, oh shit! He looks down. And he's got pee pee all over himself.
Maybe that does ring a bell.
Yeah.
I watched it a few nights ago now. So, and then the cops show up.
Yes, this fucking sucks.
Yeah, these cops,
This guy, man,
Yeah.
this officer, I don't know what his name is, but
So I
fuck, he sucks.
Yeah, this guy is definitely the same one we see later. Is the other cop? I think it is. Like this is the same duo we see later.
I think so,
Because I kind
yeah.
of recognized the mustache. I thought from on the white cop. But yeah,
Okay, so the actor's name is Jesse Lawrence Ferguson. R.I.P. Dude, he passed away April 26, 2019 at the age of 76. But yeah, fuck, man.
yeah, powerful scene.
What a performance too, dude.
Yeah, I like. Well, I don't like any of this, but it's well written. Where he's like, I can't remember exactly what he's saying, but he's being kind of a dick. Or he's basically saying like, oh, there would be one less like criminal black dude around here in less nice words.
He uses the N-word in a very aggressive and like
Dehumanizing way.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like it's really like leaves your like kind of makes your stomach churn watching the way that he talks about like the people of the community, you know.
Yeah, and Furious is just kind of mean mugging him, and he's like, "Is something wrong?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's just too bad you don't know what it is, brother." And I'm
Again.
like,
Again,
good
and
line,
like a
man.
very specific like use of the word there.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good. Good
Yeah.
good shit, good scene, you know.
Yeah. My next note is mom berating son in the daytime, days later.
Yeah, so I think it's the next day actually.
Okay.
Trey's leaving his house. The ice cream man is pulling up. Trey walks up to Doughboys and he waits outside and you hear his mom like dressing him down.
Right.
And it's really cute, like the scene of him combing his hair. The kid that got to play young Doughboy as well, I think is good casting. He's
Yeah.
like he's funny and I guess his name Baja Jackson. But yeah, good.
Great name.
Yeah, good name. Yeah. But yeah, you can I think immediately see the favoritism as well, like between like the two boys, you know.
Yeah, it's sad. We see Brandy, and cute little boys fight here again. Like I feel like everything's kind of spelled out in a way of where everything's going, but it's
Yeah.
like done in a very like. Of course, that's gonna be the love interest, right? Just from
Yeah,
this
for sure.
cinematic language of it. But
Yeah, there's so much more, so many other things it really needs to focus on. It's just like it's one of those things we've talked about in the past where like, hey, you know what? Like, go for the tropes, like, use them as long as like you're laying it down in the service of like something greater, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I'm just thinking about this now. I got in a debate with some guy online recently.
Hell yeah.
Which of course, it's the best place to debate people. But we were basically just like debating. He was saying that there's like a lot more, like you shouldn't waste your time with art that's like doing the same thing you've seen a bunch of times, and like art should be pushing everything forward. And I was like, I kind of like disagree with that insertion. I think just like some of the best songs in the world are just like the same couple chords. If it speaks to your heart and your soul, like it doesn't matter if it's not a new genre or if it's not something completely new. It's about how it speaks to you and like the nuance within it, And I think this is a story like that to me, where it's like I've seen these chords before, I've seen this story before, but it's about how it's being told that's important.
Yeah, it's really cool you're mentioning this now because I was watching an interesting video, and there's this book I really want to read about like aesthetics and like the consideration of like the word art, and it was just talking about how there I can't remember their name, but like there is no capital A art, right? Like, and as soon as you said that to me, it's like, how am I gonna know whether or not it's art if I don't engage with it? And like, who's to tell me how it if like maybe it'll inspire me to like create, there's so much presumptiveness and like such a level of arrogance in a statement of that nature.
Yeah.
Like to close yourself off like that to me is the antithesis of what art is, because I think art is about activity, community, and creation. It's so much less about like taste making and like elitism. Like I think that like that's like level of like art is like one of those things that I think is used as like a sort of like a way of keeping people down, like sometimes like where you're like, I have the education, the access to resources to be able to know what is considered good taste,
right?
And I can display it so effortlessly that like and so easily like just laugh you down because you think that like you think Finding Nemo is like a piece of fucking art.
Right.
Fucking bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's really important that, well, I don't know.
I think what they're talking about, like pushing the bounds. Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, like I'm all like I love that.
That doesn't. I guess yes, I love pushing the bounds. I guess it's just it doesn't. That isn't what necessitates quality.
No, absolutely not. There's a lot of things that push the bounds that are bad.
Yeah, I mean, well, like I think of something like Mirror, right? The Mirror, like I wouldn't say that was a bad movie. That was an extremely experimental, interesting movie, but like.
Yeah, I mean, I think about things like that push the bounds of like suffering and maybe even certain like levels of like gore where I'm like, oh, I see, like you really think that you're like being very edgy, but like it's just kind of like not like, just like maybe it's for someone else, but not for me,
Right.
And it doesn't really feel like it's advancing anything in any way.
Sure. I mean, sometimes gore is just fun.
I'm specifically thinking of my least favorite movie in the world, which is Antichrist.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen it.
I fucking hate that movie. It made me feel gross. But I have my hangups. Everybody's got their hangups. That's the thing, too. We are all, like, constructed of these, like, different experiences. And as much as, like, you can, like, talk about like averages and like what is like normal statistically, like there's just always going to be those little hangups.
Well, I think a good example that comes to mind, not to get too side tangent on this, but like the Lord of the Rings is an example, like a extremely classic tale of good versus evil, right? And I'm a big A Song of Ice and Fire guy. Like I love the nuanced gray zone morality, but like there is this kind of like group of people that are like, nah, I don't like how like black and white everything is in Lord of the Rings. And I'm like, I feel like you're missing what it's doing with that black and white, if that's your take on Lord of the Rings. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. God, dude. I was explaining in the car to my mom the other day, Aule, and like creating like the dwarves.
Hell yeah.
Oh man, fuck, dude. It was a good time. I was like just describing different parts of the Silmarillion to her, and she was just like listening. And usually she like hates fantasy, but I'm telling it to her like it's like the way it's meant to be told. Like it's like this like oral like legend, like this mythology being passed down. And I was like, "How's that sound, Mom?" And she's like, "Sounds pretty cool."
Hell yeah.
It's pretty good. Well, it's because she told me like how she loves looking at the sea. And I was like, well, that's so interesting because, like in the fucking Silmarillion, he specifically talks about how Eru Ilúvatar blessed Ulmo with the greatest gift of song.
Yeah.
And all creatures are drawn to the sea because the like Ainu Lindale, like the melodies of the song of creation, like reverberate within the depths.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, the ocean is the place where the song of creation is like the most still evident, which I think is such a cool idea.
It's a cool idea. It's really good because of the way it speaks to like the acoustic qualities of water. Yeah. Speaking of the acoustic qualities of water, there is we have Brandy. He's introduced to Brandy, of course, and then him and Doughboy are gonna go hang out with Chris. I also love this how like it's commented on in the first scene where they're like older, but like he's really at first friends with like like Doughboy, like more so than with like Ricky. And then of course things change as their interests change. They're gonna go see Chris. Trey says he can't stay long because he has to go fishing with his dad. I put a little mark next to the scene because I feel like this is another one of those important sort of like core because I think a movie where you're showing these two different times, you have to take into account the importance of how the earlier scenes are going to inform who he is as a person later on. Right? And I thought this was a pretty important scene, right? Because Trey does always sort of like keep his head down, as opposed to Ricky, who like maybe is a little bit more oblivious.
Yeah, but or Doughboy who will get
participates
in your face.
In it.
And I think this is the part where they're like, you want to go see a dead body
on
the railroad tracks.
They're on the railroad tracks.
And just in hindsight, just like the importance of Ricky not wanting to leave the football behind, even though Doughboy's like, and like, I don't know. There's something about
His dad got it for him. I mean, he says that later on.
Yeah,
You know?
and it reminds me of Stand By Me again, right? Where they have these different objects that kind
The
of represent
innocence.
their innocence that they lose like throughout the movie and stuff. Yeah.
And he's still, and then he gets it back, you know, and he has
Yeah.
it later on when he's like a teenager as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good call. Chris also mentions that he has a 22 that his brother gave him before he went to jail, and he tells him it's under his bed and loaded. Again, unsafe like gun practices. I feel like kind of call to this sort of I don't know, like this fatalism, this like cycle of violence. I feel like.
Well, I don't know. Stand By Me kind of convinced me you should just give your kids guns. So I think I'm on board now.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
How else are you going to scare the bullies off?
Yeah, no, that's so true. They don't scare away bullies in this movie with a gun. That would have been, man, that would have been wild if in this
No,
scene.
actually they do. Remember, that's kind of why their whole whole beef starts, because he shows them he has the gun under his shirt. And,
yeah. I was just thinking like age difference. in
Yeah,
this
not
part,
when
but
they're
yeah.
kids. Yeah.
But I mean, at that point, I mean, like full on, like friggin' doughboys involved in like
Yeah,
criminal
which
activity,
I mean,
like,
that was
fully
an
in there, yeah.
extremely dumb thing to do, because that's what ends up getting Ricky killed, and probably
Yeah,
Doughboy to an
well,
extent.
I mean, I think it's hard to point to ultimately's. I think he felt like he was doing his best to like
yeah, I mean, it's
to diffuse the situation. Like they think of like he's thinking of his gun as like a form of protection and a form of what's the word for when you're trying to get people to not do something? Oh, man.
deterrence.
Deterrence. Thank you, dude. A form of deterrence,
Yeah, I guess I would like, what do I know about living in the hood? But I guess I would like, don't show your gun until someone's showing you their gun, kind of thing, is where I would stand with that. Well, I mean, honestly, just don't have a gun. I mean, you're much more likely to get shot if you have a gun than if you don't have a gun.
Yeah,
But it's like such a different world that I know,
No,
so
it is.
like,
It's so
complicated.
true. It
It's
is. It
complicated.
is so true. And I have had friends in the past who I have known who are much closer, who've lived in neighborhoods like that before, and you see to them it's like, yeah, of course, like I'm gonna have a gun, like the cops aren't gonna come out here, like, well, how am I gonna like be able to like protect my family? But again, I mean, I'm soft little, like East Side boy, I don't like guns. I also like, I mean, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I had a friend when I was like 21 who was like accidentally shot through like a wall at like a party. So that
I remember that.
that was and one of my friend, someone who I was good friends with at the time, was like standing behind her when it happened. And yeah, I don't know.
I mean, as soon as you show someone you have a gun,
yeah,
it becomes a life or death situation for them potentially, right? So the stakes just go up so much higher, and people are dumb when the stakes are really high. So like,
yeah.
but what do I know?
No, I totally know what you mean, and I agree with you. I just think that I've just maybe, I don't know. There's just like,
I mean, there's so much
yeah.
cultural weight behind decisions like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's very presumptuous to try to take the high ground on something like this. But
ultimately, in this scene, they go to see the dead body, and they pass by this group of older boys. The older boys ask for the football. Ricky throws the football, and I mean, he's warned beforehand, you're not going to get the ball back if you do that. The guy's like, dude, look, I have a bunch of money. Of course I'll give it back to you. And the guy's like, haha, I'm going to keep it. And then there is like an altercation where it seems like he's about to maybe give the ball back, but then they start kind of like fighting him.
yeah,
And he like takes Doughboy down to the ground, kicks him in the stomach. But then there's this like very interesting choice that ultimately the big guy of the older kids ends up like throwing it back to like Ricky, right? And I almost feel like the lesson feels like when they're older that they take from it is, for Doughboy, I'm never like gonna be the smallest fish, like I'm always gonna like be able to like fucking hold my own. I think for Trey, it's like, I'm always going to keep my fucking head down. I am not going to stick out, and then, or like, cause friction. And I think for Ricky, it's like, I guess things turned out okay.
yeah, you gave my ball back. Yeah, that's a good point. And I like that, again, it feels very natural, where you see the guy who he like, at first he kind of like feels bad for him that he took the football, but
Yeah.
he's, he doesn't want to make a big deal about it, so he kind of forgets about it, whatever. And then he sees him walking away, and then he's like, give me the ball.
Yeah.
Like it feels like a very natural, like that's actually how it would happen.
Yeah. And the end of the scene, I think, is also like subtly done, but just as important as like the rest of it, where you hear Doughboy say, I want to go to the store. And somebody says, you don't have any money, right? And then we will see later on,
Yeah, I was wondering, like, did I miss that, like, when he stole it? And it's like, no, I guess, yeah, it just kind of
happens in like that sort of like dialogue, which I thought was well done.
Yeah.
Because next we have Furious and Trey fishing.
Yeah.
And this is again another one of the like scenes from his like childhood that I felt like I put 3 asterisks next to this scene because I wanted to emphasize. Like I think that these are like sort of pivotal moments in like in his life.
Yeah, I mean it's a very like solid father son talking about life and what it means to be a man and all that kind of stuff.
Are you a leader or a follower?
Yeah. Yeah, and he's talking about like stealing, respect,
a
little bit about
rules?
sex. Yeah,
what are the 3 rules? Always look a person in the eye, never be afraid to ask Furious for anything, stealing isn't necessary, and never respect anyone who doesn't respect you back.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Good
and then
lessons,
we have the talk about sex. And I think this movie, I would say overall does a relatively like good job like tackling this sort of like thing that is just inherently awkward,
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting. I don't know what the exact commentary is on it. I didn't really think about it much. It is it is kind of like the main goal of Trey throughout the movie.
I mean, his main stated goal, but I think his actual drive is to, like, he wants to get out, right?
Yeah, he wants to do something better with his life. Yeah.
But I think it's an important thing to talk about, especially like I think a lot more than you would think. A lot of the people who are watching this movie are kids like my age, right? Like what I was younger, right? Like 13 to 15. Like there's probably a lot more kids than you would expect watching this movie, even though it is violent,
There's some nudity too.
There's some nudity.
Yeah.
Breasts and nipples. Scandalous breasts and nipples. I don't think it's scandalous. Free the nipple. Wow. Controversial.
I mean, is she 18? I don't know if that's ever confirmed.
Nia Long?
Yeah.
I think she
was.
Well,
I'm assuming the actor is, yeah.
Oh, you mean in the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, dude. Wow. That's a good point.
Yeah, he also tells him only a real man can raise his children. I think
he says to him, yes, he says that any fool with a dick can make a baby.
Oh yeah.
Only a real man can raise their kids.
That's a good line. Yeah.
I love that shit, dude. I love that.
That's a good line.
I don't know. He has some good shit that he says.
He also says, so he was he reveals
was 17.
Here, he was in Vietnam. Furious. And he says, black man has no place in the army.
Yeah, he tells him to never join the army, which is an important statement for later on. I will say, I think Ricky's arc is. Like, Ricky is the least compelling of the major triad to me. Trey and Doughboy, I think, are... And I say that, but still, like, I mean, dude, he brings me to tears. But I think that it's just, like, To
me, he's more of a symbol.
He is. He really is. He is, like, I think thinking about him, like, the way that I was saying about, like, he has this like innocence, and like Trey truly loses his innocence.
I mean, wasted potential, right? Like that he is the tragedy of all of their lives, like personified, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. And but like again, it is like the second loss of like true loss of innocence and like transition into manhood, like losing this connection to his like childhood,
right?
Because there's something about like sports that is this connection to childhood as well. Like I feel like when you see an athlete, there's something so pure, someone who's really good at like playing basketball, but whatever, like an athlete who's really good, there's this purity of like that person started doing something when they were a kid and they loved it and they were so good at it and they were able to like pursue it, right? Like best case scenario, of course.
Yeah.
So I think there's something to him being really good at football that like adds to this sort of like innocence or like childlike, this like purity of like
just
of
something
his
he was
being.
just naturally really good at, and he just kept working on it forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Next, I think we come back home and we see Doughboy getting arrested.
Yeah, they're in the car. I think this is one of my favorite scenes.
Ricky's
in the
getting
movie.
arrested too, or
Chris. It's Chris.
Oh, it's Chris.
Chris and
Okay.
Doughboy both getting arrested, and Ricky looks super sad. I want to point out, Furious has a red VW Bug. Later on, Trey's gonna have a blue VW Bug. A lot of the cars in this are VWs. I thought that was so interesting. But what I was saying is one of my favorite scenes in this movie is where they're listening to the radio and he says, "Oh no, I love this one," and he turns it up and it's, "Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier." This is my first association with the song.
Oh, that's funny.
This is my major association. When I hear this song, I think about Laurence Fishburne with his like son. This movie, like Furious and Trey, and their relationship, and so like it makes me think of my dad. Like whenever I hear that song.
Have you seen this more than once besides this watch?
I think I might have. Yeah,
No.
probably. But this scene just lives in like anytime the song comes on, I'm just picturing them in the car. I'm gonna turn to someone and say, "Do you know who John Singleton is?"
I love that music does that, right? It's like smells. It just like this incredibly powerful memory association.
And it's just a great juxtaposition, right? Not only is it juxtaposition, but it's also like literally speaking to the scene. Like things are gonna get easier, things are gonna get better, they're gonna get brighter. Like we have to work for a brighter tomorrow, but it's there, you know.
Followed by like tragic arrest of a child.
No, over.
Oh,
it's
in the background.
Over
Yeah.
the the arrest of the child.
Yeah. And then went 7 years later.
Yeah, 7 years later.
We got a party.
Which makes sense. 1991. That's the year that the movie came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Welcome Home. Full early 90s vibe with the wardrobe and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just of the time, but it looks great. It really takes me back. Like I was born in 1990, but a lot of this like carried over into like, you know, the mid 1990s. So seeing a lot of this just like blast from the past.
Totally. Yeah, we pretty quickly see Ricky as a kid now, has a wife.
Well, we also
they're not married?
They're not married. And then we see the big thing that says "Welcome Home" as well.
Yeah.
And then we like are able to intuit through the scene that Darren, aka Doughboy, is back out of jail.
Yeah, I love Doughboy here. They're playing dominoes, and he's like, "Domino motherfuckers, what do you say about that?" And they're like, "You just lost a couple times, man."
Yeah, it is good. I do love the way that there's like commentary on the false bravado, like the macho sort of thing. But it is like it just feels so natural though, the way that it's done. And we get introduced to this sort of crew. We've got Dookie, we've got Chris, and we got Monster. Monster's the big guy. I didn't catch his name until like way later on.
I never caught his name. Yeah, Monster.
Yeah, what a nickname, right?
Pretty badass.
Yeah. Also, as Trey's showing up, we do see Ricky sort of tells him like, "Hey, like she's here," motioning towards who we will find out later on is Brandy, played by Nia Long.
Again, just because of the earlier, I'm like, of course, the girl he's interested is the one we set up in the past.
I do want to call out like when the thing of Domino's, the guy is like talking about like, "Oh yeah, I'll let like the like a drug addict like suck on my dick. I won't have sex with them, but I'll let them like suck on my dick." And they're like, "Dude, you can still get AIDS that way," because they were telling him, "Oh, like you're gonna get AIDS from having sex with like the drug addicts." And then he's like, "No, I just let them suck my dick." And then they're like, "No, you can still get AIDS." And I love that there is this moment in this movie because this is 1991. There's so much misinformation floating around about how like AIDS can or cannot be like spread, you know, and
that's a good point. Yeah,
and I think, you know, it's I do love that the movie is kind of like has this undertone of like wear a fucking condom, like, you know,
a lot of that in this, multiple times,
yeah. You gotta wear a fucking condom. But
there's a little moment I noticed here where it seems like Trey's kind of a ladies' man. There's like I think a couple women that are like checking him out. Oh yeah, no, Brandy's with some women and they're like, "Who's that?" kind of thing. And Brandy's getting a little jealous.
The other character's name she's played by Regina King. Her name is Shalika. She's asking about Trey. Does he have a girlfriend? And Brandy gets jealous and she's like, "Yeah, he does." Because they're also talking about how he looks like really fly. He works at the mall. he works at a clothing store. He gets a little discount. So they say he looks like Mr. GQ Smooth, and I think even Doughboy's like, you look like you're selling rocks, man. You're not selling rocks, are you? And he's like, no, I'm not doing that shit. And I love Doughboy's like, yeah, your dad would kick your ass if you were selling fucking drugs, dude.
Yeah.
Like a lot of like commentary that just feels very like natural, right? About like, oh, we see Trey is a very disciplined young man. And it is all because we know that like Furious is a disciplinarian, like legendary in the neighborhood. Really, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean his name is Furious Styles. Come on
Yeah,
now.
I really lamented throughout the movie how much like Doughboy would have benefited from a father figure like Furious. I mean, it's literally
Absolutely.
said in the movie
Yeah.
where fucking Ricky says like, "Dude, my brother would have like he needed to hear that. Like Doughboy needed to be there to hear about like gentrification, to hear about like marginalization and like turning like people against each other. Like it was
Yeah.
It's a sad sort of thing, and I think the movie does it totally on purpose.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean it's a lot it's a lot of like it feels like it's a very grounded kind of old style folk story, right? Where it's like there's a lot of morals and we're going to go on a little journey here and we're going to learn some lessons. And I think it's pretty like blunt with what it's trying to say, but like in a very genuine, earnest way, you know. I like the little moment of ladies eat first.
Yeah, that was a good I enjoyed that moment as well, because so much of this movie there's also just like the bitches and hoe of Doughboy throughout. I also had a feeling when him and Shalika, Regina King, had this back and forth. I just also want to point out the cast is insanely stacked. Like a lot of these actors will go on to be in movies like for the rest of the 90s and deep into the 2000s, you know.
Totally.
But and shout out fucking I love Regina King, dude. Y'all gotta fucking watch Cuba Gooding Jr.'s in it as well. Jerry Maguire. I love Jerry Maguire. One of my favorite movies of all time. But I knew when they had this back and forth in line, with the the whole like I'm not a hoe thing. I was like, I have a feeling we're fomenting a friendship here. And then we do see it like happen later on in the film.
Totally. Why hasn't Trey called Brandy? What's going on there? Is he trying to play cool?
Because she won't have sex with him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I kind of want more from the relationship with how much of a focus there is around it. Like, I feel like it's basically all just about like whether or not they're going to have sex, but like I don't feel that much like actual chemistry between them beyond that, you know what I mean?
I think the way that she like comforts him and like some of and I think the performances of like when they're on the stoop in that later scene, they're really charming, like to me at least. Like I think there's a lot there, like the way that they're like bickering and then like then he's kind of like, well, blah blah blah, and then they like get like back to being sweet on each other. But my parents bicker so fucking much. So like I think maybe that's why it works for me as well, like where that feels very natural. And I've also like I don't know.
It's there. There is chemistry there. I guess I just want more from her character in general, like as the main love interest, like.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's I think that's a totally fair criticism as well, like because like we're talking about a movie that wants to make commentary on racial prejudice and whatnot, and I think I'm all about intersectionality. Like I think there's some commentary made about like being a black woman or just like a woman with the stuff about language with like bitches and hoes, right? But I think kind of like put your money where your mouth is and like give us like a fully developed sort of like Brandy, because I mean she's like there's compelling parts about her, but I totally see what you mean, like where there could be more to her. Because you see, like, I don't want to have sex because I'm a Catholic. It goes against my morals. I love that line. She's also, like, I love that you see that she's not stupid. I don't even know when the scene happens, but eventually there's a scene where they're, like, talking. But she's like, and he's saying something about, like, oh, like, you're not going to get pregnant. And she's like, there's no, Oh no, he says I'm gonna marry you or something. She's like, there's no guarantee you're gonna marry me. Like, don't you can't fool me.
Yeah.
But those are like sort of like the handful of like things where you're like,
Yeah,
Brandy,
just a
Brandy
little,
has something to her.
little snippets of a personality, but between this,
I think you get like a tease of it in this scene, right? Where
Yeah.
like you see her interacting with other women.
yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, and the fact that the mom kind of drops out of the movie too. I guess I feel like there's a missing kind of feminine presence in the movie a little bit.
I mean, like,
but it is called Boys in the Hood. It's not called Boys and Girls in the Hood.
Yeah, I also think like Shanice, who is Ricky's girlfriend and the mother of his child.
yeah.
She's also kind of like a non-entity.
Yeah.
So like, what if they were friends, right? But again, I think. Yeah, John Singleton writing what he knows is more speaking to like the male experience, and I think it's easy for us to sit here and like criticize that and ask for more of that, and I think it's fair, but I think it's also fair to be like, okay, yeah, this is because again, the violence is like the majority of violence is perpetrated by men.
Yeah.
And the majority of violence is perpetrated by men onto other men, right?
Yeah.
That's something that I remember, and I'm not sure, maybe that statistic is wrong now, but that's what I remember hearing. And that's an interesting reconceptualization of an idea of something like violence, is to talk about it in like those terms. So I think that like that sort of idea like is salient throughout this sort of like film as like an analysis of like survival in this environment.
Totally. Yeah, I think for me it's more just like the reason I want it more is that you are making like this focus on his relationship with her a very important thing to him and like a big part of like his character, and he's the main character. Like if you're going to focus on that, then give me more.
Yeah. No, it's fair. It's fair. I would like this movie even more if that were the case. If she was more of an entity, like this movie's not passing the Bechdel test.
Yeah, probably not. No.
No, probably not.
What? Oh yeah, the next scene. Is it Doughboy? Who's pulling the little girl from the street here? Is that, I forget who's doing that.
Oh yeah, so
Trey's
leaving the cookout, and there's the little girl in the street, and he brings her back to the house, and it is this woman who's a drug addict who offers to suck his dick for
Blower Rock.
Yeah. Very very sad. I think this character's name is Shirley.
Yeah, she comes up once
or
twice
more. That's her name, Cheryl. Oh, there is the part right before this though where like, Trey says to Brandy when they're talking, he's like, "Give me 1 second." He walks up to the tree, and Ricky's like, "What are you doing, man?" He's like, "Just 1 second, man." He's like, "Yeah, I'm doing this thing. I'm playing it cool, blah blah blah." And he's like, "How am I doing?" He's like, "You're doing great, except for one thing. She's leaving." That's when we see Trey leave, but. Trey brings the little girl back to Cheryl, and then
so sad. I mean, there's a car that like almost fucking hits this little girl, and her mom only cares about doing drugs, basically.
Yeah, it's fucked up. And then he's crossing the street, and we're introduced to our main antagonist. Our main antagonist, alongside the socioeconomic hardships of living in in this neighborhood, the societal factors. Yeah, but it's Ferris. This is Ferris.
It's just hanging out in the back there with a shotgun. I was trying to piece together what's going on with these guys a little bit. Are they drug dealers, and that's why there's this natural aggression between them and Doughboy, or like where is this all stemming from?
I think they're from different neighborhoods.
But they're just rolling through to cause trouble. Like that's their whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, at one point they're even like, dude, he's like 27 years old, and he's just like fucking with us like 10 years younger than him. Like, I maybe it's this sense to assert your authority in a world where you feel like you have no control. It doesn't feel like something that wouldn't happen. I'll say that.
Yeah. I guess it's just like I'm left wondering why this all had to happen, but maybe that's what the movie's about,
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. You should be wondering why this all had to happen, because it feels so unnecessary.
Yeah, so senseless.
That's the thing about violence,
But like, if it was a drug-related thing, that at least like I can understand why they keep mean mugging him, keep picking fights and shit. Probably.
I mean, like I thought that they very clearly wear a lot of red. Their car is red, and you notice that Ice Cube's group don't wear any red, like I don't know if they're I don't know if they have gang affiliations. Like,
Right. I didn't think about that. That's a good call though. Or maybe it's just cinematic, like blood, like warning blood, or red is often used as like
yeah,
danger in
bad guys
movies. Yeah.
danger. Yeah, I don't know either, but I feel like but yeah, like again, like I said, it feels like something that would actually happen. But I wanted to point out there's an Ice Cube song playing in the car.
Oh, is there? That's
yeah,
great.
it's great. Really well done. Also, like fucking Ice Cube in this movie.
Yeah, he's great.
This is my favorite role of his, I think.
I'm trying to like I know he's in a bunch of stuff. I'm trying to remember like what stands out to me from his career.
21 Jump Street.
I don't think I ever saw it. But he's really good at
Friday?
this. I
He's
have
very
seen
funny.
Friday.
He's
I
very
don't.
funny.
I don't remember.
He
it
wrote
very
those
well.
movies.
Oh, he wrote Friday. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very talented, man.
Yeah, John Singleton's the one who encouraged him to write.
Oh,
I
really?
think. Yeah, isn't that awesome?
That is awesome. Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah, I liked him a lot in this. I thought just like super good, dramatic performance.
Yeah, Cuba Gooding Jr. as well. I mean, like,
yeah. No, I mean his
guy's-
breakdown later.
Laurence Fishburne.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mano.
Really good.
But Trey gets home. We see Laurence Fishburne being famously left-handed, writing with his left hand. In his right ball, in his right ball, in his right hand, he has the Baoding balls.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah,
I thought that
they're
was a funny, like, little quirk he has, just always playing with those balls.
They're like a meditation thing.
Yeah.
He's not playing with them; he's meditating, dog. How dare you?
I mean, they seem like classy fidget spinners to me, but
I love the also just their back and forth. It feels really natural.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I know you didn't bring me no swine.
Yeah. So is that
Pork.
yeah? Well, so is he Jewish? That's a Jewish thing, right?
It's also a thing in Islam, and it's
yeah.
also a thing. I think I think it has to do with the relation of Islam, but I believe that there are just Black Americans. A lot of them don't eat pork.
Oh, really? That's a cultural thing.
I mean, a lot of them do, but I think a lot of them also don't. I don't know if it's
Not familiar.
strictly from like Islam. Like I don't think he's supposed to be like like a Nation of Islam guy or something like that, or if but I think that there are plenty of Christian Black Americans who also don't eat like any pork.
Now that you mention it, Jules in Pulp Fiction won't eat swine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's because it's seen as like an unclean animal.
Well, yeah, I was familiar with that in the religious context, and Jules is religious in Pulp Fiction, so I just always associate it with that. But maybe there is something just like Black American culture. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's definitely a thing. Definitely a thing that like I wasn't surprised by that, and I thought it made me laugh. I was like, yeah, classic. It feels very like classic. I think. Yeah, I don't know if it's like just like religious or like sort of like enlightened, like like it to me like
just like a sign of spirituality, perhaps.
Yeah. Maybe I'm fucking dumb. Like, please tell me if I'm super out of pocket and I'm fucked up for saying this. But when I see in a Black character in a movie, and they're like, I don't eat pork, it feels like it points to this wisdom or maybe spiritual
restraint,
connection,
restraint, self-awareness.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah. Interesting.
Aestheticism, I guess, of a sort.
Yeah. Not just going from your base desires, like choosing things from an intellectual standpoint.
Yeah.
So Furious trims his hair.
I do love the line where, he says, Mrs. Baker told me to bring you a plate. And then he says, Brenda would have a chance if she didn't talk so much. My fucking guy, dude.
That's funny,
like
man.
it is. Fucking play on player. Yeah, Trey wants him to fix his fade.
Yeah, I like this whole back and forth too. He's calling him old. Yeah, like you said, it just feels like supernatural. Not supernatural, but super natural.
What I liked about it as well is that it reminds me, like, it's relatable as like, we already did the disciplinarian sort of dad thing, but like this reminded me of my dad and I's relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't be talking to him. I wouldn't be telling him a made up story about when I had sex.
Yeah, that's always been interesting to me when I see that, where people are just like telling them about this experience they had with a girl, and I'm like, I would never, I would never tell my parents.
I mean, I
about
probably would like many years removed.
Yeah.
Like now,
if it
tell
was
them a
funny
story
or something, but like I wouldn't just be
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, this one time I had a really hot experience.
I
yeah.
think it's maybe the single young dad thing.
Well,
like,
it's
is
him.
part of it.
It's him overcompensating because
Right.
he wants to look cool in front of his dad. Because
Yeah.
we know that we've
Well,
quickly find out
it's
that
both
he,
things because
yeah.
his dad is young and single, and
Yeah.
he respects his dad. He wants
True.
to look cool in front
True,
of him,
true, yeah.
which I think is a fun. Okay, it's kind of a weird thing, but it just very quickly illustrates like how he feels about his dad, right?
Yeah.
Like he's like, my dad's
It's a good
cool.
point.
My dad fucks, and he's cool.
Yeah, and I think
My dad's a cool fucking guy.
that's often the best type of writing, right? Where the context is in between the lines of everything, where it can tell you something that's interesting and nuanced on the surface, but have even more nuance and interesting stuff in between the dialogue,
Yeah, the subtext.
Subtext, that's the word.
The subtext.
I do love
Dude,
this whole.
Shout out to Noam Chomsky, even though he was in the Epstein files.
Oh boy.
And picture and was showing a picture with Steve Bannon. Fuck man, that fucked me up, dude.
Hey man.
You know what's fucked up, dude? It really did fuck me up. No, it really did. It really did fuck me up.
Hey, just because he's in a picture, that's not. I need more
He
evidence.
was in the flight logs
Oh,
too.
that's bad. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
that's
bad.
pretty bad. That's pretty
Yeah.
bad. Oh
Um,
man, that's so fucked.
It's a rough time out here right now, here in America. I
Yeah,
tell
dude.
you what.
Yesterday I found out one of my friends in Vancouver in this band that I had met when we played out there when we were on tour. I found out he passed away.
Oh
He's
shit.
gonna turn 30 in April, man.
Jesus.
Yeah, dude. Fucking rest in peace, Gabe. You were a beautiful light, and I don't like really believe in an afterlife or a traditional sense of God, but if this, I'm gonna say something so stupid. If this fucking vibration reaches you, man, just know that I love you and I'm thinking about you.
No.
Dude, I guess I said I'm not religious, and then I like prayed in the middle of a podcast.
No, I like
low-key.
that. I like that.
Ugh.
I'm not religious either, but I am like.
The lights dimmed a little bit. Did you notice that?
Did they actually?
Yeah, they dimmed a little bit, I think.
Oh my god.
Dude, the power's gonna go out. We gotta finish this episode. Quick.
It has nothing to do with your
Quick.
friend listening. Okay.
Quick, before Satan catches up.
I love the sequence though. I mean, this is great. She walks up and says, "Is this your ride?" Like,
Yeah.
this whole part is just so funny. And
She
good.
gets out of a Volkswagen Rabbit, another Volkswagen.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like Nazi car.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. I'm
guess.
sorry. Well, no, it was literally like the fucking
That was like their
yeah
main,
yeah they
like
were
was that all their like mobile stuff was
a lot of
Volkswagen?
them. Yeah, I think so.
Wow. Yeah, shout out to Nike for also doing some Nazi shit. You
Yeah,
sons
Hugo
of bitches.
Boss.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so they're getting it on at their place, and then the mom comes home with the.
No, it was grandma. She can smell
Oh,
sex in the air.
Yeah, it's very like.
Oh,
It's,
but the euphemisms too. I want to learn how to drive.
oh yeah.
Oh, but it's stick shift. I can learn.
Yeah. I love it
Yeah,
all.
dude.
Super funny, and
It's
like
good.
in the way it's written. I'm like, this seems probably like a fabrication, but also maybe not. Maybe this is just a more whimsical little story in the middle of the movie.
What's up?
But
And I love that it is, right?
Yeah.
Also, back-to-back movies where there's a little like
Oh, yeah.
a little narrative within a narrative.
Yeah. The pie eating story. Yeah,
dude, right up here,
Hell
dude.
yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Fuck y'all.
We just high five.
we just broke the fucking internet.
Yeah.
Our film analysis is on another level. You will not fuck with us.
Man, we're really
We're
on one
connecting
tonight.
dots that don't even exist.
Yeah, and so his dad asks if he wore rubber, and he says she was on the pill. His dad's mad about this.
And I love this because
Yeah.
this is good shit.
Yeah,
This
good
is
shit.
This is like better than a fucking like after school special. This is just real as shit. He's just like, bro, don't be a fucking ding dong. Like fucking put on a fucking condom, dude.
Yeah.
Like she's on the pill. You can still catch an STI if someone's on the pill. Like, come on, dude. Like, take care of yourself. Protect your future.
Yeah. Don't lose that innocence too early.
Yeah, I mean, dude, here I love to get insanely real about things sometimes. But there was a point in time where I got a girl pregnant and she had to have an abortion, dude, and like I'm so grateful that that's like a thing that was available and was like possible because like I mean like I love kids, dude. I think kids are awesome. I would love to be a father one day, but at the age of 19 was not the time for that to happen.
Yeah.
So, that's why I think good lessons abound here, brother.
Absolutely. Absolutely, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and he slams the door, and he's like, why are you slamming my door so fucking hard, bro?
No, I do. Well, no, we did mention that grandma could smell sex in the air, and then she's got a butcher's cleaver, and she comes up, and he's like, run out the window.
Yeah, good stuff.
But yeah, Ricky slams the door. Yeah, he's just being like, I don't know. It does feel like, and also Ricky's eating in like every fucking scene.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, also grown-up Ricky played by Morris Chestnut, dude.
Yeah.
The great Morris Chestnut.
Yeah, good performance.
Good actor.
Yeah.
Handsome fucking guy, dude. I just gotta say.
Oh
dude.
yeah.
Handsome guy.
Yeah, he looks like he's the star of the football team. Yeah, and so he reveals he lied about being a virgin, which Ricky finds very funny.
He also mentions that he's never lied to his dad.
Yeah, and
He
this
never
line's
lies to his
super
dad.
sweet, or just like, genuine, where he's laughing at him, and he's like, "What were you afraid of?" And he's like, "I was afraid of being a daddy." And it's like, damn, bro, that's some real shit.
I think he respects the weight behind being a father.
Yeah,
And I mean, like, Ricky's so funny because Ricky is a dad, but you can tell that he doesn't take it serious. Like, he doesn't even take it seriously to the level that Trey does, or the level that
but I do
Furious
think that
does.
line impacts him.
No, because you see him like kind of straighten up, and he's like, "Oh yeah," like, and he's like, "I'm a dad," right? Like, but I think it speaks to the fact that he's not always carrying himself like, I'm a father. I have like some, and I think that's why that scene after he watches the fucking army thing is so impactful, because you kind of see him a little bit more on the like, I have people I need to take care of, like, almost like he's realizing it, right?
Yeah, interesting.
Because I think that's sort of his character arc. Is like realizing the like weight, like, because he's got his mom and his girlfriend, and I think like he starts to see like, oh shit, like these people are like putting like their lot with me, like they're trusting me to take care of them,
Yeah,
and I gotta do whatever I can.
I mean, yeah, he's definitely trying to like become the man of the household. You know? Yeah. I think this next sequence is what I was talking about earlier, where it really is just like jumping around between a bunch of different things and not really finishing the thought of any given moment.
We're showing like Ricky's football practice, like truncated, basically.
Yeah. And Trey is getting yelled at by Brandy.
And this is where we hear the thing where she says, I won't have sex because I'm Catholic. It goes against my morals. You see Doughboy and Dookie hanging out in front of the house, and like Dookie's chain gets stolen, and they chase the guy down and beat him up. And then you see the part that I mentioned earlier, where he says, "I'm gonna marry you," like, so like, it doesn't matter if we do it now or later. And Brandy's like, "I want to go to college. There's no guarantee that I'm gonna marry you." And then again, Ricky at practice, we see some catcalling. It is kind of like this, like there is this like narrative string throughout of the Brandy and Trey thing. With these like little like what's the word, like it's like almost like a montage of like the happenings of like the other characters, right? I was gonna say vignette, like little vignettes, little like Doughboy vignettes, right?
Yeah.
Because they're like catcalling some women,
Yeah, it's just an interesting structure to kind of hop between back and forth and stuff.
It is.
What was the line? Let me know the stuffing on that egg McMuffin. Are you kidding me?
Nice. Fuck yeah, dude. That's fucking funny. That's good. No, I missed that. That's so funny. I do, but then again, I do want to shout out. I love the way that they're like arguing, and then they're just like, get cute with each other again. They're like, "Oh, I missed you," and they start kissing again.
Yeah.
And then we do see Doughboys across the street hanging out with Shalika. And they're just, passing the 40 back and forth. I do love how she goes to pass him, like, the empty bottle, and he goes, take your ass to the store with that shit or something.
Oh, yeah.
God, he's very funny as well. Like, and
absolutely.
I mean, that comes out in a lot of the movies he does after this, but it's,
yeah, good comedic actor for sure.
Yeah, it's good just to see him, like, kind of like, I don't know, man. For a first movie, like.
This is his first?
Yeah, I'm really kind of, like, blown away by it.
Yeah, this part was really funny too, where Trey is on, I think this is after Trey's on the couch on the phone with Brandy.
Oh, this is great. Yeah.
And his mom called. So and before he picks up the phone, he's like, "Skins or what?" And then he like it's his mom, and it's like,
Yeah,
oh my
he
goodness.
doesn't put her on hold, and he's like, "This is your mother, Trey."
Skins or what?
Yeah, it's pretty funny. And then
It's a weird. I guess it's not any weirder than nudes, but skins sounds weirder to me.
yeah, like it is like this, but I think it could be so many different things, right? Like it is this like being overly preoccupied with this very specific thing because it's what you've been told is the symbol of like achieving your manhood, right? Like he's looking for his gauntlet, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think maybe, luckily for me, I never felt like, oh man, I have to have sex with a girl, no condom, for all my friends to think I'm cool, But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that's his hill to die on, brother. It's a very interesting, but I think maybe again is maybe speaking to something that was happening at the time that like culturally we're like maybe not super aware of,
Yeah, it's a good point. Oh yeah, so we see the mom at her place, and there's this kind of reoccurring thing. I don't know. I just wrote like slash here, but it's happening a lot throughout the movie, where we just see the helicopter lights coming from above.
Oh yeah. I started taking note of that, and I think that's such a fucking great choice.
Yeah, no, it adds this level of tension to everything. It's kind of haunting. It makes everything feel a little less safe.
Bro, it makes you feel like they're in like jail, like they're in some sort of like the captivity of their neighborhood, dude.
Yeah.
And like I don't say that without fully acknowledging like the depth and like weight of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But that's what it feels like.
Yeah. It just added like another layer of weight as it kept coming up throughout the movie.
And just the way you get accustomed to it, you know, like, and
yeah.
you're just like, oh fuck, man, just having to live with that all the time.
Yeah. We got some duck hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, but I think the thing with the mom is that she ends up talking to Furious. She wants to Furious.
I think she wants him to move in, right?
Yeah, and he's like, no, it's Trey's decision.
Yeah.
Which we've already we've addressed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, duck hunt, dude.
Duck hunt.
And mom is like, you got to get out of here because Ricky's gonna have company over.
Right.
She's having the recruiter. He's having the recruiter from USC over.
That's right. Uh-huh.
And
Louis Crump.
Yeah, Louis Crump. But we also hear the mention that, like, oh man, she always treats Ricky better because they have different fathers.
Yeah, it's really sad.
It is sad. But yeah, they're waiting on the porch, and we have this comedic back and forth, like, hey, Monster's like, can I get a, like...
I want to go to college.
Yeah, how do I get a scholarship, dog?
Yeah, it's at 276 yards in one game.
Yeah.
It's a lot of running. Yeah, his football tape, we got, he's kind of like, yeah.
He's a wide receiver, right? Like, that's his position?
I think so, yeah.
So I would assume, not a running back.
Yeah, I don't know.
Connor's the football guy on this podcast. I just want to point that out.
I'm not a sports
guy. Seahawks, though.
Yeah, they're killing it, man.
Are they really?
Yeah, they're like the best in the league right now.
They're the best in the league.
They're like the best in the NFL right now.
Yeah, they don't have to go through a wild card game to go to the playoffs, right?
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Nice. Sick, dude. Yeah, I mean, because it's 2 games, I think, for them to make it to the Super Bowl, right? Something like that?
I think so, yeah. I haven't... It's one of those seasons where I wish I would have followed it more because they're doing so damn well.
Yeah, and they're playing the Niners, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, my sister is a 49ers fan.
Ooh, big game.
Yeah, I got tickets. We went and saw them earlier in the season. I think I told you about that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, we lost that one, right? Seahawks?
Yeah, so my sister was fucking stoked.
We've only lost like 3 games this whole season.
That's wild.
Pretty crazy, yeah.
That's wild. My Los Angeles Lakers are adrift. They are lost. They do not know who they are. That's all we have to say about that.
Shame.
Speaking about being adrift.
Yeah, that's actually a really good because he's asking like, what do you want to do
besides football?
Yeah.
No, it was. Yeah, I mean,
nailed it.
Thanks, dude.
Business major, computers.
He doesn't really know.
Yeah,
he
doesn't know.
When he asks him, he looks at him. He's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
I'm gonna play football.
And he's like, "Well, not everyone makes it to the NFL, bro."
Yeah.
Also, love that he has a 2.3 GPA. Like, he's not like the model. Like, he's not like, he has a hard time with school. Well, not. I mean, he's an average student.
Average, yeah.
Average student.
Slightly above average, perhaps. Yeah.
Damn, really?
Yeah, I think 2.0 is like C average, right?
Really?
I think so.
Damn. My mom would not have been happy.
I could be mistaken. I don't know.
My parents would not be cool with that. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, he tells him he just needs to get over a 700 on his SAT, which is kind of timery, like countdown clocky, sort of like prestige-y sort of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of setting up this kind of.
Well, there's just the letter with the score in it later on, dude, and it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, and again, it's like one of those things I saw coming. Like at this point in the movie, I'm like, this guy is way too clean and perfect and neat. He's gonna die, and that's gonna create drama between his like more hardcore brother and the other people, and he might die too. But I'm like, no, they're not gonna kill both the brothers. And sure enough,
yeah, it's so good though.
Yeah, it's really well done.
It's so sad. It's so
really
tragic.
It's really
I do also want to point out it's a recruiter from USC. USC is very close to like South Central Los Angeles. That's my father's alma mater as well.
Wow.
That's where my dad got his PhD in linguistics.
Wow.
Because my father is a syntactician.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, like we said, we should have had him on that Arrival podcast episode. That would have been great.
Yeah.
It would have been, I don't know how, it would have been funny.
Maybe
He's just like, shut up. Like,
I'm trying to watch this movie.
No, like he just tells me to shut up and I can't talk for the rest of the movie. It's just you and him.
Because I was thinking maybe do a commentary track with your dad.
He's just like, shut up, I'm watching the movie. Can you boys keep it down?
The next line or the next thing I've written down is go to church for girls.
Oh yeah, that's what Chris says. Chris tells them,
which is hilarious.
Yeah, they need.
And
this
it's
is
not
all
a bad
like,
plan.
This is like a pretty like long scene, and I love how we have the action of like what's going on in the porch and then what's going on inside.
I've met some girls that are like, I love meeting guys at church. I mean, that's like, those are stand-up guys.
Well, this is also just pointing towards his arc, which is like he is like pretty religious, like, and he is like he feels very, I think he's starting to question his lifestyle because of like. It just literally sounds like he's just going to church more. And he's probably meeting cute girls there, but they're probably also like furthering him, like encouraging him to like pursue like his faith, right? Like,
yeah. Maybe I should start going to church.
Yeah, fuck it, dude. Go for it, dude. Go for it.
I'm look up on Google like which church has the cutest girls.
We're the church with the hot girls. Where's the church with the hot goth mummies?
Hot goth mommy church. That's my kind of church.
Where can I go to a church where there's some thick Latina mummies that could make me some homemade tamales? Yeah.
Like
that's what you need. She would be Catholic too. That would be perfect for you. Your mom would love that.
She would love that. Yeah.
She would love that.
Yeah.
She would love that. Dude, damn, Catholic bias on this podcast.
Yeah, I guess so. Huh?
I guess so. And your dad, is your dad's family also Catholic? Is like Polish, like Chicago Polish situation?
Yeah, I think I don't think his parents were ever super religious, but yeah, like raised generally Catholic.
But they don't want to have sex before marriage because they're Catholic. It goes against their morals.
I don't know.
Just wanted to tie it back into the movie.
Here we go.
I love that the next scene is just the SAT test, like immediately.
Oh yeah, set up and.
Oh, also Brenda, the mom, Mrs. Baker, Brenda Baker. What a name! She's so excited for Ricky.
Yeah,
she's so stoked for him.
Yeah,
and it is so tragic watching this movie, knowing what's gonna happen. It's like fuck.
yeah, it's a bummer. It's a bummer of a movie. Alfredo actually messaged me before I watched it, like, dude, just make sure you schedule in some self-care time. I'm like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, I felt really good though. Like I just like cried and yeah, I felt good.
Yeah, maybe that's part of why I was predicting a lot of it is because I had that expectation that this was going to be very tragic.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of inherent in
there's
what
also
they're
like,
doing. I don't know.
This has been like parodied and stuff, and like this exists within like I think the like pop culture created like collective unconscious.
Yeah.
So I think that you've probably absorbed lots of things from it without even realizing that like you're like that you already know these things. Totally. And again, like I mentioned with A Bronx Tale, I mean, of course that's based on like a one-man play, but I think like this movie is really kind of setting up a lot of these like sort of like tropes and things,
and I think,
you know.
like I wouldn't be surprised if they were intentionally trying to subvert some of the stuff in this in Bronx Tale.
Yeah. 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 Uh Then we got after the SAT test. Well, during the SAT test, we see that Ricky's like super distracted. Of course, Trey's like super locked in to the point where he's even like motioning to like Ricky to lock in. We see that Brandy is also like taking the test. I also like that for them that they're both on this like intellectual track. Like good for them.
Yeah. I mean, he's found a great girl.
Yeah, I mean,
she's great.
Yeah, she's so great. We want to know more about her.
Yeah.
We want to know more about this lovely lady. She's so beautiful and so intelligent and a Catholic. We love that. Obviously. Sorry. So after the test, you have Trey and Ricky leaving like in the Blue Beetle. And I love that they pull up to Furious's work. And Trey is wearing the same sort of like red sweatpants that Furious was wearing in the like scenes when he was younger.
Yeah,
I know this is a hand-me-down, maybe. I don't know. No, or he just wants to look like his dad.
Probably. I thought it was a very interesting line from Furious here, where he's like, "Those tests are racially biased, except math."
Yeah, they're culturally biased. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's interesting. Like, it just kept kind of.
He's
thinking
such a
about
smart guy. No, I love that, and I love that this is like, dude, my mom, like, as a teacher, talking about these things, like, in like, I remember, in like the 2000s and like 2010s. And like just seeing that like this has been something that's been known since like like the early 90s, right?
Yeah.
Like and it's just like wild to me that like because when you're like the way that you experience gathering information, you feel like, oh wow, like when I first heard that these tests were racially biased in 2010, that's when I thought that people first found that out. And it's like, no, dog, people have known that for like a long ass time already,
Yeah, kind of like climate change. Like this has been like debated to death since like the 60s, but it's like just like become more and more of like, hey, everyone should start maybe like paying attention to that.
Yeah, and I mean, because it's not real, right?
That's what I'm trying to get at here. Yeah.
Just kidding. Wow, dude, so controversial on the mic. Dude, this mic is shit.
Oh shit.
That's a hot mic, baby. So hot. And Ricky's like, so what? You help people get money for their houses and what? And he's like, there is no and what. That's exactly what I do. And I just, he's so good in this movie. He's the
man.
Yeah, there's just such a strength to this character.
Yeah, he has such a weight. Yeah.
And he's gonna show them something. So he takes them to Compton.
Mm-hmm.
We can see that Ricky's sketched out, and I love Furious saying, "It's the '90s. We can't afford to be scared of our own people anymore."
Yeah.
Great line.
I mean, yeah, this whole section is just a lot of awesome political, societal commentary, right? He's talking about why do they have gun stores and liquor stores on every corner here? Like what? Like basically, yeah, just talking about how society tries to like tear. Again, it's the punching down thing and like tearing people apart so that you can stay in power.
Yeah, and talking about gentrification, marginalization of like the local population. That was a bit of a bar right there. But also just Furious has like this audience. I love these dudes who are just chilling on the corner. And I love how the like older gentleman is like, it's these guys, it's the kids. Yeah. And then they're like, well, like, I can't remember exactly what they say. But then basically like being like, what are we supposed to do? Like, how are we supposed to like survive? Like, this is the only way like we can make money,
Yeah.
And Furious pointing like, they just want to turn us against each other, drive the property values down. And also that line, best way to kill a people is to take away their ability to reproduce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really sad.
And then like the guy also saying to him, the younger gentleman saying, what am I supposed to do if they want to kill me? And Furious says, you're doing exactly what they want you to do. So it's like, he's like, what am I supposed to do? And Furious's answer isn't like, what are you supposed to do? It's just I'm going to let you know that you're you're playing into what they want and they expect from you. And what I kind of love about the movie is that, and about Furious is that he's saying that, but he's not. And obviously there's like passion behind what he's saying, but like, I just love how it's like they're like out there like talking, like having a dialogue.
Yeah.
Something about it felt so like when we talked about Community, remember in like in this sort of like the ideals of the 1950s in like Stand By Me, we talked about how like Community is something that like people yearn for from that sort of time. But like we didn't really see any aspects of that in that movie. So I think that's why I was thinking about it more, cuz I think that this movie is so much more community driven.
Yeah.
Cuz it really just feels like it exists within this specific place.
Yeah.
Right? Where Stand By Me feels like could be any little old town in the middle of nowhere. Like this is a particular place guided by these forces much greater than like the people who inhabit the community.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, Stand By Me is more of like, I feel like everyone can relate to just like getting into some shenanigans with your buddies as a kid.
Yeah.
And this is much more of a like social class commentary.
Yeah, this is like very much like it is a Bronx. It's like it goes from being, it's much more a Bronx Tale than Stand By Me, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Very similar movies, dude.
Yeah. I'm thinking about that a lot. Yeah, it definitely fits the coming of age Bronx Tale for sure.
I mean, also just showing like, dude, because like, what year is that supposed to be? Wait, it's in the 60s, right? Yeah.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, in the 60s. And then just seeing like fucking 30 years later how much worse things are, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's depressing. But it is like at the end of like the fucking, you know, I think the Reagan era was a real downturn and, you know, led into.
I mean, that was the whole war on drugs and everything,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bad time. Mind if I have some more wine?
No, go ahead.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, when Connor got here, he said, "Hey man, do you have a beer? Beer sounds good." And I was like, "Dude, beer sounds great, bud. Open up the old fucking cooler there. Actually, why don't you pour me a little bit as well?" Oh, that's that guy. It's that guy right there. Put it, bring it all over to the table if you want, dude. And then I look in the fridge. Squirt, a little fly flies out. No booze, bro, no beer, bro. So I said, "Well, I do have wine," and he said, "Okay, wine will do." But then he was like, "You were a little conflicted about the wine. You're like, ah, man, we're gonna seem so haughty, you know, like you know."
I was just giving you shit.
It was pretty good though. You're like, "Oh man, look at us just drinking our red wine." It's not very true to the source material. So we thought about walking down to the corner store, grabbing a couple of 40 ounces, which I think that in Seattle, can you not buy them in the Seattle like limits? There's something about malt liquor, maybe certain times. Also, I remember when they started making all those bottles plastic. That was tragic.
Oh yeah,
That was tragic. I did used to love the first time I ever like got drunk with my friends. We were drinking Mickey's.
yeah.
Out of
Drank a lot of
40s.
Mickey's. I think I didn't like all the other ones. I tried all the other.
I think this is strictly an OE film, an old English film.
I don't know if I've had it.
Yeah, man. Oh my god.
I don't remember. Like, I wouldn't want to drink Mickey's from my memory of it, though. I don't
No,
think it's very
no.
good.
In my late teens, early 20s, smoking blunts, fucking drinking like 40s. That was like, wow. That was me and my buddy Kyle. Just wow.
Takes
God,
you back. Yeah.
What a lifestyle.
Uh-huh.
Just very funny.
Yeah. You just
Well, just seeing them fucking chilling, like drinking 40s on this, I was kind of like, oh man, I do love that. And then thinking about
it did
California,
make me nostalgic. Yeah.
whenever they said, "Oh man, I'm cold," in any of those shots, I'm like, "You are not cold. It's 70 degrees
yeah,
in
that
like
came up
March."
a couple times.
Yeah, I was just like, "Fuck you, dude. You're not cold, dude. I've lived in Southern California. Like, I'm so jealous of how you truly do not understand the meaning of cold."
yeah.
Because that's what it means to be a true fucking Pacific Northwesterner, dude. To have experienced that chill in your bones, you know, dude?
Yeah.
It does something to you.
Yeah. Well,
And the sun, dude. The sun's out there.
I haven't seen that shit in years.
I haven't seen that
I mean,
shit.
well, it's not like super cold here. Like, it's more just kind of dark.
No,
'Cause, like, if you
it's-
compare it to like winter on
No,
the East
it's
Coast,
relatively
you know?
temperate. Yeah, I mean, it's all relative. But, dude, I mean, it gets
But
to...
compared to Southern
Also,
California, yeah,
it's been warm this winter,
Yeah.
dude. It was like 50 something.
it was pretty cold.
I
like,
went to look
last
at
week.
I went to look at my watch. And I said what
It's
temperature
an
was.
analog watch.
Yeah. Thanks, dude. Thanks for shouting that out. I know how to read an analog watch. But yeah, just I don't know. You're right. It's not too cold here, but you can't just be hanging out in like a fucking undershirt outside till
No.
the middle of the night.
Absolutely not. I mean, you could.
And then
It's a bad time.
there's the whole gray thing, the sun. But I don't mind.
I like the rain. Like, I start to miss it if I'm away
The
from
rain's
it for
great.
too long.
The rain's great. It purifies the earth, dude.
I mean, everything's so fucking green here.
You wouldn't have all
Oh
the
my
green without the
God.
rain. That's what I'm
Yeah.
always saying. Oh
Oh, yeah.
I like
Okay.
watching the
No
puddles.
rain. I was trying to figure
God, dude. Speaking of tragedy,
Yeah.
moving on, dude. Okay.
Arriving at Crenshaw.
Yeah, they're like, they're like driving, and Ricky's saying like, "Furious is so deep," and I kind of like this, and this is where he says,
yeah.
"Doughboy should have heard what Furious had to say," and then I love how Trey is like, Ricky's like, "Oh man, Doughboy would have really benefited from like hearing what your dad had to say," and Trey's like, "Yeah, what are those guys up to?" They're like, "Those fools are probably up on Crenshaw," and they're like, "Okay, let's go."
And they do. And yeah, what is this place? Is it like
What is Crenshaw?
yeah.
Crenshaw is a part of Los Angeles.
Oh, okay. So
It is both a neighborhood and a street, I believe.
okay. Because there was like it was written across this building behind them,
Crenshaw is a neighborhood in California. Yes.
and I was just wondering what is going on here. Man, my notes are so random for this movie. I wrote religified, probably just because I thought that was a funny thing.
Because they're
to
talking
say.
about Chris. Chris is like, he's talking about religion.
Oh,
more.
taking name in vain, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole discussion around that.
Yeah, it's just a neighborhood.
Yeah, and they're talking about how there's there's got to be a god because you got the sun, the moon, and the stars. How else do you explain that shit? And then
Yeah.
what's her name says he could be a she.
That's Shalika. Yeah.
And Doughboy's response: "If God was a bitch, there ain't be no nuclear bombs." That's such a good line.
I do love how he is basically like, look at the world. Like a woman wouldn't let this happen. But at the same time, just being
Just
very
the most,
disrespectful.
Like
with his
saying
like,
it like a very like philosophical comment said in the most like derogatory ways. Very,
yeah,
very
it
funny.
reminds me of there was one of those like classic advice animals from like Reddit that is like the guy who's accidentally politically correct, like accidentally politically correct redneck or whatever. It was something like that. It kind of reminds me of that.
Absolutely.
He also says that so they tell him again, Ricky's eating some chips, but they tell him, yeah, we were coming from Compton, and like Furious was like saying some stuff. I think at one point he even asked him like, was your father a preacher? He's like, nah, man, he's just like that, which is also something that happens in Stand By Me. Your dad's weird. Yeah, he's just like that, dude.
Yeah.
But he refers to him as Malcolm Farrakhan, which is an amalgamation of Malcolm X, and then Farrakhan is oh my god, I can't remember his first name. Another major figure in
Civil rights movement.
civil rights, yeah, and like black liberation.
I mean, yeah, of course I know Malcolm X, but Farrakhan doesn't ring a bell to me. Interesting.
Louis Farrakhan, yeah, he was an American religious leader. Yes, he was part of the Nation of Islam.
Oh, okay. Like Malcolm X, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Apparently, though, Malcolm X was. I don't know if. Well, I remember the like most accepted thing was that the Elijah Muhammad, the leader of the Nation of Islam, had him killed because he was like parting with their sort of like message. But
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's true. I don't know.
Interesting. Wow.
Very interesting. Yeah.
Um.
But they bump into Ferris.
Yeah, man, and it's such a bummer. Like, how, is it really like this? The amount of times people end up dying because people like bump into each other, because that's all that happens, right? They just kind of like bump into each other, and it turns into a heated like thing that eventually leads to murder.
I think like if I think what it's supposed to be is that there are these like signs of like this like mutual disrespect, or I
like
don't
he
know,
purposefully bumped into him.
like
I
this
don't
tribalism
recall.
perhaps, or
Yeah.
this like sort of like neighborhood like versus neighborhood sort of thing, and there's this lack of respect between the two of them, and he bumps into him on purpose,
Okay.
like, and he's looking to incite violence because he craves it. I don't know.
So
I feel like he is like this like
lame.
weird, fucked up, chaotic sort of like force.
I mean,
in
he's
the
just
movie.
trying to be the like the biggest dick around.
He wants to be
basically.
the alpha, yeah. So he wants to find a reason, like, you know. And again,
That's how you end up dying, you know? That's not wisdom. That's not being a man.
no,
Being a man is living.
But this is the thing, dude. They didn't have someone like Furious to like show them what it means to be a man, right?
Yeah. We could have helped these people.
I don't think so, dude. I mean, like, we as in the rest of society,
Yeah.
like or like even yeah, I mean redistribution of wealth, you know, I mean or fund like pulling funding from even say like military spending to spend on like the like infrastructure of society. In those ways, yes.
Those people need to get bombed.
No. I mean, like, us individually, we should have gone in and helped, like, physically with our two hands.
I'd bring my guitar, dude. Play them some songs.
Dude, if I played them, like, dude, do you think they've ever heard Kumbaya?
Knocking on Heaven's Door, Eric Clapton.
Is that too fucked up? Is that too much of a line to cross to make that? That's obviously a joke, you know? I know the origin of the song Kumbaya, you know? I'm not fucking stupid. But yeah, so ultimately they're like about to get into some sort of like physical altercation, and Doughboy's like, I have my fucking gun, do not fuck with my brother, and then Ferris backs off.
Yeah, and then we just hear him in the distance blasting with a fucking Uzi.
A fucking Uzi, dude.
You don't see that very often.
Later on, Monster fully has a fucking AK-47, dude.
Oh, shit, bro. It's wild.
It is wild.
Where'd they get all these guns, man?
Illegally probably, dude.
Damn shame. Yeah, AK-47s you can't get legally, right?
I don't think so. I think maybe like AR-15s. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Then we have Trey's driving Ricky, and Trey's they're upset, and Trey's like, I'm getting the fuck out of LA. And this is where they get pulled over. The cops have their guns drawn. And then we cut to Brandy doing her homework, hearing gunshots and tires screeching.
Yeah.
Back to Trey and Ricky getting frisks. Back to Ray. Back to Ray and Tiki. Sorry. I want to do that because I thought it was funny. Back to Trey and Ricky getting frisked.
Ray and Tiki.
And it is the same cops as last time. And
I'd recognize that stupid cop handlebar mustache anywhere.
God, he's such an asshole, dude.
Yeah.
I love the way he goes, scared now? I like that. That's why I took this job. He fucking sucks,
yeah,
dude.
he is a problem. So he's
like, what set you from? Like, assuming he's like some sort of gang member.
Yeah, it's just this hatred towards his own people, man. Like, oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is unfortunately such a classic sort of, I don't want to call it a trope, but it's something that comes up over and over again in these stories. I mean, Samuel L. Jackson's character in Django, another like classic example of this in film. Yeah, it sucks, you know?
Yeah. My dad worked for the city of Renton, and I think the head of their police department like was in the same building, and he was talking to, I don't know if it was like the chief or whatever, but he was like, he came from a rough neighborhood, and he was basically talking about how, like, yeah, for a lot of us, it's like you choose one side or the other. Like, a lot of us end up as cops, and a lot of us end up as criminals.
Yeah, I've heard that before as well. I've heard similar things. Seen it in media as well. I feel like it is kind of like the Fox and the Hound. Like, I mean, I feel like maybe, I hope that's not disrespectful, but it is like, it's just like that kind of story, you know, where like you're like friends, and then like you like grow apart, and like, you know, you could easily see a story like, there's some movie where this happens, right? There's lots of movies where this happens, where they're two friends, one's a criminal, one's a cop.
Yeah.
Buddy cop version probably as well.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of an example, but I'm sure there is one.
No, this isn't. They're not friends, but Blue Rush, the Martin Lawrence movie where he's a jewel thief. Anyway, whatever, dude. Moving on.
Yeah.
They get distracted because they hear that there's a possible 187.
Yeah, saved again.
And they're calling out a blue Volkswagen in the 187.
Oh.
And I was like, dude, another Volkswagen.
Wow. Weird.
Yeah, I think the only car that I can remember, because fucking Ferris also he drives like a red
Do you think they got like
Volkswagen.
sponsored by Volkswagen?
Maybe something like that. But then fucking Doughboy's car is not a Volkswagen. Because he's got the fucking crazy, he's got one of those like
Yeah.
huge
Yeah,
like
the
70s
big,
cars
yeah, like white and gold, right?
with
Yeah.
the
Is that
fucking
a Cadillac?
hydraulics.
What is
I think
that?
it's maybe like a Buick, or I don't know, like an
Nice car.
Oldsmobile.
Yeah, and just the way he's pressing the gun into his neck. And I do like, again, it's a very subtle thing, but I appreciate when they add some gray to these very like villainous characters, where you have the other cop in the background looking a little unsettled by what
Yeah.
he's doing. Like, it wasn't just like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. He was kind of like, dude, what
He's
the
like,
fuck?
what are we doing here? Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that. I
I
appreciate
don't
that.
have to fucking.
I don't want to have to clean up this dude's fucking brains.
This
yeah.
is insane, dude.
Yeah.
Also, like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, chill out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cops leave. Then we have knocking on Brandy's door, and it's Trey. Again, the helicopters
lights,
overhead.
Yeah, I took note of that.
Yeah, just the atmosphere of being watched and trapped is so fucked.
Yeah, intense. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
I think your point about feeling like it's like a prison is
yeah.
like probably right on the nose.
I think that's how
yeah.
Trey feels. I mean, he feels trapped by this neighborhood, by his neighborhood, by the reputation, by the maybe even the like his race.
And
like
this is my favorite performance in the movie.
Yeah.
This is an insanely well acted breakdown here.
Yeah.
And like. I could see people saying that they think it's like over the top.
A little broad.
I don't think so.
He's also 17. Like
I've
17 or 18
I've seen
year old.
people do shit
Yeah.
like this before.
No,
yeah.
absolutely. I agree. I totally agree. And I only say the thing about his age to like point to how much more like genuine it feels to
Yeah.
me. Because again, I totally agree with you. I think that it feels very real. Like this is definitely like, I mean, I know that when I get upset sometimes, it just feels good to like let it out,
I mean, people punch walls all the time for a reason. Like it's
yeah.
this kind of breakdown when people
I don't tend to
punch
do that so much,
No.
but it did feel very like him just like swinging at the air.
As a teenager, I definitely have hurt my knuckles punching inanimate objects stupidly.
Yes. Yeah, for
I've never
sure.
left a hole in the wall, but
Yeah.
I've done some stupid shit and felt it later,
Yeah, I mean, and he says that he never thought he'd cry in front of a woman.
Yeah.
And she says, "You can cry in front of me."
Yeah, for me, the thing that really just makes this an amazing performance is the range of emotions it goes through. Like, it's not just anger, it's not just sadness, it's like all of these things.
No, it's
like the
it's the
catharsis
movement,
of the movie, basically, in this
the
one
movement
scene.
of the anger, the frustration into the sadness. I think is really
Just
really
well done. Yeah, absolutely. And then I think does it immediately go to them making love? What the hell? Because I have
the
they're
next scene
smooching and
they're
they're
kissing
saying,
in the bed. Yeah,
and I think it's like, can we get married in college? And then I think they're just getting it on.
Yep, pretty much.
Okay, all right.
Pretty much, that's exactly what happens, dude.
See, like, if she's more fleshed out and this is more of a back and forth between them, I think them making love is an impactful moment in this movie. But the way it's done, I'm just kind of like, okay, yeah, then they did it. Good for them,
Well, they did it. Good for them. Exactly. I have to pee really quickly.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I went off the rails a lot on this one, but I think it's fun.
No, this is an amazing episode.
Oh, yeah.
This is what. Now this is podcasting.
Now this is podcasting.
God, that definitely was they must have done that at some point in Blank Check, right? Early Blank Check days.
Oh, they must.
They
have,
must
yeah,
have
they
done
must
it,
have.
dude.
Yeah.
They must.
That's what they started with, right? Star Wars.
Yeah, dude, and they pretended that the other ones didn't exist. It was a really good bit. God, man? What if I pretended I thought you didn't exist? Should that be my bit?
Who keeps talking?
What the fuck is that? Where's that coming from?
Trying to talk to myself here.
I'm just trying to record myself talking about movies. Yeah. Then they make love for the first time with the helicopters overhead.
Yeah. Does it have the lights flashing in?
No, I think you just can kind of like hear them. I don't know, but also there's the line, she says that she doesn't want to get pregnant. He goes, "You won't." And then I'm like, okay, did he use a condom? I hope he used a condom, dude. I don't know. A little bit upsetting if he ended up not using a condom,
What the fuck's this movie even about?
Furious is meeting Riva at a restaurant.
Yeah.
They both look nice
Yep.
because they both tell each other they look nice.
Yeah.
And I think we see kind of like difference again, like you were saying. You're like, what are the differences in like parenting styles? Why are you always buying him stuff? You know, Furious asks of Riva. You know.
Yeah.
And Riva's like, you hear about this? He wants to move in with Brandy when he goes to school. And Furious is like, yeah. And she's like, don't you think that's a bad idea? And he's like, it's his decision. I mean, he's old enough and responsible enough to make the decision for himself.
Yeah, he's basically an adult, right? I mean, they're going to college and stuff. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a respectable thing to say. I can understand from a more practical perspective if you are Riva being like, look, dude, like, what if he gets heartbroken? What if they break up? Like, so many things.
it's a very reasonable.
Yeah, it's not
reaction.
unreasonable, but
I also wondered, like, how long have they been together?
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah. I mean, of course, like, you can't really fault a parent for being worried about anything, right?
Yeah,
I'm worried about my cats right now, sitting here at Alfredo's, and they're fine, you know, but I'm still worried about them.
unless you can secure a payment of $1 million,
No.
I don't know if you'll be seeing.
No. Don't even joke. Yeah,
I was about to dox your cat's names, but he Ash and Kaya. Basically, like, they're like arguing. He's like, I'm gonna go get cigarettes. She's like, no, you fucking, like, you stay here, and because he tells her something like, the time to play mommy is over. Basically, like, you want to be able to like get back that time that you missed.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, I took responsibility. I raised him. You weren't there. Now you want back in on that. I'm sorry, that already happened. And she's like, and I love this scene. I think this is one of maybe the strongest from like a feminine perspective, where she's like, okay, I see you. Okay. Like, you know what? Sit back down. We're going to talk. But what I'm going to say to you is, you're not fucking special for doing what women have been doing from the beginning of time.
Yeah.
And I love that she's like, you want to be applauded, but like, women don't get applauded for doing this shit, you know? And I do love that she kind of ends the scene with the power in that, like, quote unquote power.
Yeah.
Or like, just sort of that you kind of get a good dialogue scene, I think, kind of does that to you, where it like threads you along these different ways where you're like, oh, I see where he's coming from, I see where she's coming from, and I love the resolution of it. And then ultimately, again, doing a little bit of the classic pickled ginger, a little bit of that fucking palate cleanser. That should have been in the end of the year episode, talking about how much we love a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
She says to him, you may be cute, but you're not special. And
that's a great line.
It's very cute.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because I do think that's like very strong, solid, sound, like philosophical argument on mother's place in the world. But also, we're not talking about all the mothers in the world. We're talking about you as a mother. And if you weren't there for him, like, you can't pride how good women are as mothers. But I don't really get the sense she's a bad mother.
No. She just wants to take him down a peg. She just wants to be like,
yeah,
look, dude, you were so. Because I think what she's saying is like, you got this shit-eating grin. You got this. You got this self-righteousness to you because you raised your son.
Yeah.
It's like, you raised your son. So what is like what she's saying, I think.
Yeah, but if it's true, his accusation of like, you haven't been around and now you were trying to make up for lost time.
She also took care of him up until he was
until
like
7 years ago or whatever. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I think, is this the last of her we get in this movie? I think so, right?
I think it might be, yeah.
I think it's a very interesting little role for this character because it's unconventional. It's realistic. They don't tell you exactly everything that went down. Well, why, like, how her career went, but she's obviously doing well now. It's just kind of like subtly in the background, and I think that's cool.
Literally after this is like all the shit goes down. All of this stuff happens so quickly. Yeah, I mean, after this,
you got the car revving down the street.
Trey rolls up to the porch where Doughboy, Chris, Dookie, and Monster are chilling, and you see Ferris pulling up to the block, and this is the point where they say that he's 27, but he does end up turning away. Doughboy, asks about Brandy, like, he says that he saw him leaving her house at like 2 a.m. And there's this shot where you see Dookie trying to get Trey to hit the binky or drink the 40. And then I love how you just hear him go, peer pressure, peer pressure. This is fucking funny.
Which is one of my themes, peer pressure.
It's great.
I don't know if we get too much peer pressure besides the peer pressure to get revenge for your friend.
Yeah, for sure. I think there is the peer pressure of the whole skins thing. I think it's just like you're not seeing people say it, but I think he obviously feels it.
That's true.
And I love what Doughboy says to Trey. He's like, handle your shit. Don't be like Ricky, dude. You don't need to have a fucking kid right now.
Handle your shit. Yeah, I like that line too. I wrote it down.
Shanice is telling Ricky to go get some cornmeal, but he's watching football, very distracted. And this is where he sees the Army commercial that like calls his attention. Some good physical acting from Morris Chestnut. Kind of seeing where his like interest is. A lot of like introspection that's done without like that I think is like kind of seen in his performance. And then Ricky and fucking Darren fucking get in an argument because Ricky's like, yo, Doughboy, you want to go get cornmeal? And he's like, no, your wife asked you. He's like, she's not my wife. Pushing each other. God, dude.
Yeah, it's really tragic how this is their last time together.
Yeah.
And it's just over some really stupid, mundane thing. I think that's a big part of the tragedy of all this.
And Trey's trying to pull them apart. Like, don't fight your brothers. And you can tell, like, there's that thing in Trey where, like, he's always... And they say in the beginning of the movie, they're trying to act like they're brothers. Like, Trey and Ricky, I think.
Yeah.
And it's like, because he never had a brother. Like, he wishes he had a brother, you know? And these are his brothers, which is, like, kind of the way that the movie's capped off at the end, right? The last thing Trey says to Doughboy.
Yeah, I'm not your...
You still got a brother left.
Yeah, I still got a brother left, yeah.
But Chris is also like, no, dude, this family shit. Let them do their thing.
This
the
line...
mailman arrives in the middle of them fucking fighting too.
Yeah, the mom separating them and then slapping Doughboy, and his reaction to it was really heartbreaking to me. Just like, what'd you hit me for? What you hit me? Why me? What would you hit me for? Like,
and again, the movie does a good job with the writing, doing this thing of like. Having that really heartbreaking moment, and then Chris is like, "Yo, wait, why'd she hit you? What'd she hit you for, Doughboy?" It's like, "Shut up." He's like, "Shut up, man. It's good." There's some great tension and release that's being written into this.
Yeah.
Ricky and Trey are walking down the street. Ricky basically is like, "Dude, I'm gonna join the army." And the like fucking letter came, and Brenda, his mother, Mrs. Baker, calling after him, realizing this is like the like SAT score. Like letter.
Yeah.
There is an instinct in me to question whether it's all too contrived, but I think that I land on because I think execution is the like judge at the end of the day.
Do you mean contrived that the SAT letter arrives right before he's murdered? Or which aspect?
All of it. All of the confluence of events. But I land on no. I think execution makes it feel like what it calls to me is like Greek tragedy.
Yeah.
Sort of like, and I think it's coming from an informed place. It is this piece of drama that is so personal, and that is, I think, again, you're using these different, like, it feels appropriate to me, you know? I feel like this is how this movie ends.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a super interesting question. And maybe my biggest hang-up in some ways. I do think the Greek tragedy is a really good way to look at it. But it does feel kind of, like we've said, we've seen this story before, and I don't know how many times before and how many times since. So there's part of me that feels like it's contrived because I don't know how much it's adding to that commentary. And then there's another part of me that's just like, it's all so like genuinely and like realistically told. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think on that question.
Yeah, I think I land on no. I think I land on no because of how whenever I find myself in times of trouble, I turn to like, damn, dude. I tend to be very empirical and think about things rationally, but I think like when it comes to art, emotion guides me so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it's the feelings that I like that ultimately resonate within me, like within the depths of Olmo's domain, you know, the I knew Lindale, like as it resonates. Like within me, the emotion of the Boys in the Hood, like themes. It works. It works. And
it works. It absolutely works.
It works and is good.
Yeah.
But does not escape the like the raising of a nitpick, the use of the yellow card to be like, you know,
Yeah.
oh my god, what if that was our whole bit? Like we're just watching yellow cards, right? That's a thought.
I think on
spin-off podcast.
I think. By the way, I'm raising a yellow card right now.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think my biggest hang up on a first watch is I don't think it's. I think it works. I want more resolution than we get to make it feel like I want that extra, like I want it to say something a little bit more at the end.
I think it's appropriate that it feels like it is so sudden, because I think that's the brutal truth about death, man.
Yeah, but I think this movie's a lot more. It's about a lot more than death. Like it puts more on the table than what it ties up at the end, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if it's a product of its time, where like maybe it didn't feel hopeful. Like it felt like I'm saying these things, but it's like what's gonna change? Like it speaking to the fatalism, right? That theme.
Yeah, it's something that, you know, it's a deep enough, complex enough, nuanced story that I think I need to meditate on it more.
I think all of what we're talking about, we should probably just very quickly finish up.
Finish the movie.
Well, I mean, because so Ricky's eating again. He says that he wants to get money to go to school, and if he goes to the army, he can do that. He needs to provide for his son. This is what I was talking about earlier. This is sort of Ricky's metamorphosis. But Trey's like, dude, don't do that. My dad told me, like, black man has no place in a white man's army.
He's also got the the lottery ticket card, which
he gets that after this. Then they go into the store. The guy asks them for money, and they get like the scratcher thing. And Trey weirdly says you got to be Mexican to win that, like the lottery thing. Do you remember that? No?
He says you got to be Mexican.
Yeah, you got to be Mexican to win that. Then they see Ferris, and like, okay, we got to like bolt. So they bolt through like the fucking backyards. Then in the fucking alleyway, Ricky's like, let's like separate. Yeah. Let's split the party, essentially.
Yeah, and I think the tragedy of Ricky here of just they're not gonna do anything. Like they're just trying to scare us.
Yeah, it kind of speaks to him and his ball when he was a kid, you know?
Yeah, and the fact that, you know, he's just kind of standing there when they roll up, just scratching on the lottery ticket, and like
super distracted.
And the metaphor there, it is a bit on the nose, but I do think it's a powerful one of like this was his lot in life. Like this is the ticket he grabbed, and even though he was an exceptional, like he had no reason for this to become. There's no karma here. There's nothing he did that led up to this.
No, he doesn't deserve this.
He doesn't deserve this at all.
No,
he didn't.
He's a victim of circumstance in a way, I guess.
Completely random. Just like his lottery thing that he dies scratching, you know.
Yeah, and I love the music climaxes, and then it cuts out. Ricky drops his stuff to run, and dude, this is a tragic image that has like been forever burnt into my mind. And again, like I'm saying, I feel like it kind of lives within the pop culture collective unconscious. I feel like this is an image that's just like very powerful, very iconic in like a very tragic way.
And not to focus on such a mundane thing, I do appreciate that they represent the shotgun range appropriately, because I think I've talked about this before, where so often it's like, no, you got to be like 6 feet away to get a good shotgun round off, and it's like, no, man, you can like shoot over 100 feet with one of those. Yeah,
they fuck him up, dude, and then like you know,
pointlessly, man. Like, why?
And Doughboy and the crew like pull up, you know, Trey holding his dying friend, crying out Ricky. And dude, I think one of the most amazing performances in this movie is fucking Ice Cube, O'Shea Jackson.
Yeah.
Like the way he like that is like the other, like Trey is just despondent. Same with like Chris, you know, like you can also hear like a baby crying in like the background, you know. And Darren, Doughboy, he just holds his brother, and then he's like, okay, let's go. And like they start taking him, and he just like is like just is so like so how objective oriented. He's just like, okay, time to do like the next thing. Like we, you know, and And I love how in the next shot, you see that he's sitting in the back seat with his brother. Like he let his like friend drive like the car because he wants to like hold his brother. You know.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
and there's like I could see you taking the body home. I do think it's kind of a wild choice
yeah,
to bring your dead brother into the living room.
yeah. But it makes for like again. I think like the Greek tragedy
Yeah.
thing, like the like
The fact that his
the
mom blames him, what did you do?
well, it's also like the
Ugh.
dude. It almost feels like it could be something you read about in the Silmarillion or something, dude. Like, I mean, it just feels like again, like with the Greek tragedy thing, it's
Yeah.
just like the brother that has been cast away as like the like lesser brother, bringing like back his dead golden child brother, and for the like mother to say like you did this,
Yeah.
right? Like it just wow, dude.
I think the saddest part is that it is partially like him provoking.
Yeah, no, it is
It
tragic.
is partially his fault.
It is tragic, and also his. I love him saying like the baby doesn't need to see this, you know, but she's just like, and also the moment where she's like actually like surrendered to like his like love to her, and he's like holding her. There's just like a moment of this like really beautiful, tender, pure like mother son love, and then she like explodes and like you know, you did this, like you did this is your fault. And I do love it, like he just has this they are maybe an unfair characterization of them both being, I was going to say the word hysterical, and I thought they're both like female characters, and you know that is maybe a bit uncouth to say, but they are inconsolable, right?
Reasonably
and
so.
and he is of course this is an insane thing, but him being level-headed enough to say like you should get the baby out of here.
Yeah.
Like the baby doesn't need to see this.
Yeah, that was the thing that
Which
was like
is the
drawing
question
me.
of also like, why did you bring the body to the house,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
But again, I think in thinking of this as a piece of like drama
Yeah.
and like this tragedy,
Yeah.
it makes sense, I think, to like bring the
It
body
feels larger
back.
than life in a very grounded movie, but
Yeah.
it didn't strike me as like
Yeah.
this doesn't make sense.
But as far as like a thing to think of practically, I am of course thinking about like the clothes, everything
you're
getting
just gonna
covered
be
in
bleeding
blood.
over
Yeah.
all your shit.
Yeah.
Like, good luck getting all that out. Like, your living room's ruined.
Yeah.
But that's the last thing they care about. But yeah.
Yeah, it's so tragic. And then Trey, you know, like just kind of like his turn towards like being so self-assured and being like, meet me in 5 minutes, you know? Like,
Yeah,
you
goes
know,
to get the gun.
and he goes to get the gun. And I love how he's not even trying to hide it from his dad, and his dad is like, "What the fuck are you doing, dude?"
Yeah.
And I love the line like when Furious confronts him, he says, "I'm sorry for your friend and his family, but that's their problem. You're mine."
Yeah.
And he says to him, "You're tough. You want to shoot someone? I'm right here."
Yeah, he's like, shoot me, go ahead.
And then when he says, "Give me the gun," and Trey just breaks down
Yeah.
crying. And I love, you know, you're my only son. I won't lose you to no bullshit.
Yeah.
God, it was so beautiful. But it is so then just, I don't know. There's something about it that just feels so real too, that they have this beautiful moment, and then like next shot, window open, he's gone out, and he's
Yeah, well,
like
I think
in the
Brandy
back of the
comes,
car.
and
Yeah.
then she comes into his room, and he's out
Yeah.
the window. Yeah. And then we got the boys loading up guns.
Yeah.
It's cutting. Furious is spinning his balls furiously.
Yeah. Furiously indeed.
And then
His bow ding balls.
Trey just is like, nah, I want out.
Yeah.
Again, Bronx Tale, like the exact climactic moment for Bronx Tale too.
But
Spoilers.
like in Bronx Tale, he gets pulled out.
Oh, that's right. But he wanted to leave. He didn't want to be there.
No.
Yeah,
But come
yeah,
on, dude.
yeah,
The
yeah.
power of Trey
Yeah.
being like, and this is what I like about these guys more than a Bronx Tale. I mean, they seem kind of almost more mature as well, because like the 17-year-olds in that movie compared to
his
this one.
friends are fucking pieces of shit in that movie.
Yeah, and I love that Doughboy's like, I get it, and then he even says to him like,
Well,
in the
he
next scene,
doesn't at first. He does it very reluctantly, and I like that even more.
Yeah,
Him being like, I know why
Yeah.
why you've got out, and I thought that was really beautiful. Yeah,
yeah, and
like
they
he
let
doesn't
him.
want to let him out at first.
They
I
let
think
him out in
that's
front of a
good.
church.
Ah,
I also remember. I think Chris gets left behind when they pull out when they left initially. Man, I can't remember where that is, but you see him like get left behind, and he's like, oh man, like he wants to be part of it, but yeah, he gets let out in front of a church, and then we see the baby still crying, and that Ricky got a 710 on the SAT.
Yeah, very sad. What a fucking gut punch.
Yeah, and then Monster's complaining they haven't found the guys. Doughboy's just like dead quiet. They decide to go get some food. We see that Ferris and his boys are eating some burgers. They end up running into them, and fucking Doughboy brutally like guns them down. Like gets out of the car, walks them down, and like fucking gets close and fucking shoots them. Like makes Ferris turn over.
Yeah.
So he can face him when he shoots him. And Ferris begging for mercy, saying, "I didn't pull the trigger."
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those revenge things I find so interesting. Well, like one of the reasons we're doing a revenge category this year, is that I think just that the way revenge stories can fuck with you as the audience, where you're like, yeah, no, fuck these guys, kill these assholes. But then you're also, the moment of like, this feels wrong though. This doesn't feel quite
Feels
right.
so empty.
Yeah, it feels empty. Yeah. Powerful stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they finally get back in the car, make off. We see Trey arriving home. No words spoken between him and Furious. Both of them just going into their rooms and closing the door. And we see
the next day, I think.
Yeah,
right?
Trey laying on his bed, fading into the next day. And we see Doughboy selling someone drinking a 40, sell someone some drugs. We hear those helicopters. Doughboy walks up to Trey, and this is where we get this really beautiful but tragic like conversation between the two of them,
Yeah. I love the moment of the mom coming up wanting drugs and Doughboy just being like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
like,
keep them babies off the street.
Yeah, just like, the moral integrity of this murderer drug dealer.
I'm gonna read something specifically that he says. He says that he hasn't been up this early in a long time. He saw something on TV about living in a violent world.
Yeah.
Showed all these foreign places. Either they don't know, don't show, or don't care about what's going on in the hood. All this foreign shit, not shit on his brother.
Yeah, really sad.
And again, I said, I noted here once more, it's tragic how much he would have benefited from Furious's discipline and insight into the world. And then, him saying that I ain't got no brother, ain't got no mother neither. She loved that fool more than she loved me. And then that's when Cheryl walks up, and then Trey.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point that it's right at that moment, because that's kind of like, hey, go like actually raise your kid.
Yeah.
Unlike my mom did for me, kind of thing.
And then Trey asks if they killed them.
Yeah.
And he tells them that he doesn't even know how he feels about it.
Yeah.
And he says, next thing you know, somebody might try and get him.
Yeah, someone might try to smoke me, I think he said.
Yeah.
It all goes on and on. We all gotta go sometime.
Yeah. And then and then he says, seems like they punched the wrong clock on Rick though, meaning his brother. He feels like his brother died too early.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the fact that he had nothing to do with any of that. Yeah.
And that's the part where Trey says, "Doe, you still got one brother left."
Yeah.
And then I started crying, dude. I fucking started bawling, dude.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
And then you see Doughboy pours some of his 40 out in memoriam for his brother Ricky. And then we see that the next day he saw his brother buried, and you see him fade away just like River Phoenix at the end of Stand By Me.
No shit.
And 2 weeks later he was murdered.
That's right.
Trey goes to Morehouse College in Atlanta with Brandy at Spelman College across the way. And the last message of this movie before the credits: increase the peace.
Increase the peace.
It's a beautiful sentiment and like a very like optimistic message for something that leaves you, I think, feeling so like heartbroken.
Yeah, I mean it's a fucking bummer.
It's
This
a big
movie's
bummer.
a bummer.
Big bummer.
Alfredo.
I mean,
I thought it was gonna be good times, bro.
It's like
Boys
it's
in the
gonna
Hood.
be a house party.
Yeah.
No.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Trey has a happy sort of like story.
Yeah.
Seems.
Yeah, he got
Him and
out.
Brandy,
right?
you know, good for them. Furious raised a good boy. You know, he raised a man. Really, sorry.
Yeah.
Like he executed. And you know, let's not sell Reva short. She did as well. But yeah, I think really beautiful examination of a lot of. Again, I think that what's so well done about this movie is that it's educational while being relatable.
Yeah.
And I think I'll just do it right now. For me, this movie has such a place in cinema that and to me personally too, because I've been saying, I don't know if I want to say fond memories, but this movie is a movie that definitely impacted me strongly. I feel like I must give it an S tier.
Wow.
I will grant it happily.
That's great. Yeah, I'm a little torn. It's not an S tier for me.
I know. I was thinking, oh man, maybe I should have let Connor go first because.
I'm gonna be.
But
more
I was
of
just
a
like,
bummer.
I was just so sure of my answer.
No. Well, I'm still like on the fence a little bit. I'm between a B and an A. I think it's a very powerful movie. I think it's very well done. Like it said though, it didn't really like surprise me, and it doesn't have to surprise me.
Yeah, I think the thing is that it doesn't. Part of it is like, does it not surprise you because like you have seen media reinforcing this information for years, and in 1991, this is the year before the Rodney King riots. Like, I think this is just not something I think that people are really like aware of in the country at the time.
Yeah. I think if I'm going off context alone, like A or S, but you know me, I'm not a big context guy. I'm just going off like what was my experience with the movie watching it, you know. Yeah, I think I'll go A. Cuz I do think the amount of stuff it has to say and the amount of complicated topics it's covering in such a grounded way is like really well woven and powerful.
Yeah. And I mean, I'll say that within my consideration for my score, I'm not gonna lie, it totally also takes into account the kinds of stories we see told and the kinds of people we see in these stories, and the fact that it is a marginalized group that are like at the center of this like movie, and that this is like a piece of black cinema definitely impacts it, and I'm not ashamed to say that in any way, shape, or form. And I'm not saying that because that makes it any like less as well. It's just like part of the consideration.
Yeah.
Like it's like if this was a movie, the exact same movie, and it was all because like it's impossible to separate that from what its essence is.
Yeah.
So for me, because I think like issues of this nature of of racism, like I think or of like these systemic sort of like questions of like these systems that keep lower class people in this perpetual cycle of poverty and in like encouraging violence, because all of those seem like such important messages to me, that all boosts the overall impact of it emotionally as well. And again, I think it is more of like a guts S than like an intellectual S.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and it's a movie I'll keep thinking about, I think, for probably like ever, you know. Yeah.
I mean, Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Ice Cube, pretty good.
I mean, Laurence Fisher. Yeah.
Yeah, big Larry Fishburne, you know?
Yeah.
It's good shit. It's a good movie.
Yeah, really good movie. I like it.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you seen The Wire?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Absolutely, I've seen The Wire.
So good.
Yeah, this before The Wire as well, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was Boyz in the Hood.
Boyz in the Hood.
A classic piece of cinema. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Next week we're doing something completely different.
Yeah, this is our modern-esque coming-of-age story.
Yeah.
Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Perks of Being a Wallflower, a book I saw so much of when I was in like I think like junior high in high school maybe, you know,
A
just
book
floating around.
that had a huge impact on me when I was a teenager for reasons I'll get into.
Yeah, I never read it.
A really, really good book. I remember the movie being kind of meh. So
no.
We'll see how I feel it on the second watch.
But I don't mind that.
Yeah, I like Emma Watson.
Oh, she's in it.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep.
I mean, I feel like you definitely like you get a little bit bummed when you're like, oh, the movie's not gonna be a great movie. Like,
Yeah.
you want every movie to be like the best movie you've ever seen.
Hey, I like watching good movies. What can I say?
I mean, I like watching good movies as well, but I think one of the things that makes this podcast interesting is that we open up ourselves to the idea of like watching things that aren't great as a movie, but are great as a vehicle for talking about themes and
It
characteristics.
doesn't mean the
of certain
episode will
film
be less
styles.
interesting.
Yeah, no,
I'm just less excited to watch it.
But I actually think that the episodes are better sometimes when they're like that.
I don't think the quality of the movie determines the quality of the episode at all. It just determines the quality of my enjoyment watching it.
I would say if we're gonna talk about quality of like episodes, related to quality of movies, this episode I think is fucking up there. Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot of tangents, but I think they're all fun tangents or philosophical or meaningful tangents.
I mean, I think that this movie just sort of inspires like thought, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that it's cool to see that it did what it succeeded. I'm looking at like the time right now, and we're just shy of I mean, we're a little bit over 2.5 hours right now. It's fucking sick. I kind of love it. I'm kind of stoked.
Hell yeah, brother.
Sometimes I get bummed out about like, oh fuck, dude, it's so long, so much to edit. And then it's like, dude, you know what, dude? This was worth it.
Yeah.
Good convo.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder, like, I'm always curious, in our kind of audience, like, is this the type of movie to draw a bunch of people, or is this the type of movie that most people, like, don't think about very often?
Yeah, I hope that it's perhaps drawn some people to our fold, or that it's encouraged people to like check out a movie that they maybe wouldn't have checked out before.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. For sure.
That is my hope, of course. I'm actually killing just a little bit of time searching to see if we have any new reviews, which I don't think we do, but I'm just gonna check anyway.
Every time this is a bummer. This is the bummer portion of the podcast where we still don't have any new comments.
No, guys, leave a review. I'll shout you out. We need a new one.
Wait, this is Apple reviews?
Yeah, whatever. Fuck that shit.
I mean, we have YouTube comments and shit. We could start reading that stuff out. I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck that. Yeah. Here, let's see what we got here. This is some dead air. We'll cut it. This is a long ass episode already. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, it might as well be here other than somewhere else. Actually,
we'll just read Dow Winnie's comments every week.
Past guest of the podcast is trying to call me right now. My friend Lillian. But I mean, come on, respect the pod. Am I right, dude?
Respect the pod.
We gotta come up we gotta add more to our tenants as we're always doing. You know.
Yeah, we gotta really solidify those 4 tenants of Cinema Forecast.
All right, let's see where we got some. Let's see comments. Do we have any comments on? Well, I can't do. Oh, there's a way to just see where you have comments, right?
By clicking on the video? Are you looking on YouTube?
Yeah. No, but I think from YouTube Studio, it's even easier. You guys want tutorials on how to use YouTube Studio? Let me know, man. Yeah, there's a comment on Stand By Me. That's cool.
Our good friend Del Winnie.
I don't see it anymore.
Oh,
no, here it is. Oh, it is Del Winnie, yeah. Yo, it's because you already read it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Dude, you know what? I'll read this. Why not?
Hell yeah.
This is long, but I'm gonna read it. This is good. As I mentioned when you announced this episode, that this movie resonates with me. Me and my core group of friends had a lot of Stand By Me moments. The trope of Gen X kids running around wild, exploring abandoned houses and making forts and campfires in the woods was entirely true for our group. As I approach 50 years old, I can say that this movie rings even more true now. That group of ours slowly split apart once we hit high school. Some of us stayed in town, some of us didn't, and unfortunately, one of us died tragically a few years ago. Rest in peace, man. I was saying earlier in the episode, it's fucking hard. I will always have great memories of those times. And no, I did not have the same kind of bond with my friends as I did with those guys when I was younger. You mentioned how small the scope of this movie is, and I believe that's intentional. What we see is a myopic POV of these kids and how small their world truly was. As we get older, we see that the world can be both amazingly huge and at times alarmingly small. They just haven't learned that lesson yet. Really well fucking worded. Really lovely, awesome fucking commentary. Shout out to Dalwhinnie, as always. Dude I think has a really cool like take on movies and a like really awesome perspective, obviously of a different generation age group than Connor and I. So always good to hear from him.
Yeah.
He also he did say that we were gonna love Stand By Me, which we did. Love Stand By Me.
I thought it was great.
I love Stand By Me. Loved Boys in the Hood. Yeah. Maybe we'll bring back on the 4th episode, we'll do which one we feel is the most coming of age.
Ooh, that's a good call. Yeah.
Or should we just leave that for the end of the... We'll do it again. It's fun.
Fuck it.
It's fun.
Fuck it.
We love talking. Yeah.
We sure do. 3 hours in, baby.
Yeah, 3 hours in. Well, I guess that's all for tonight. Thank you so very much, all y'all. We always appreciate your patronage. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your family. Kisses, hugs. Take care of each other. Increase the peace.
Increase the peace.
Increase the peace.
That's what I'm talking about.
Love y'all. Thank you.
Good night.